Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now we are joined by Neil, Sensual Goat, OK Computer, Refracted Curvature, and a whole bunch of people in the Flat Earth Debate Discord server, so welcome one and all.
Now that's more like it.
Good afternoon.
Morning.
I think that's more like it is a reference to me trying to wolf down a bacon sandwich while the intro roll was going yesterday, and then I've got it repeating on me as I'm trying to get the intro out. Is that what you're referring to, Neil?
That and the fact that there's more than me on the panel.
Oh, there was me thinking it was all about me, but you've ruined it by making it seem like I'm selfish. Thank you for that, Neil. It is all about me. What can I say? It's my show. Meanwhile, let's do some housekeeping. Any evidence of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
Whoa. What is with this housekeeping? I thought we've established that housekeeping has cleaned house.
It gets dusty though, Neil.
What are we doing?
That's the point. If we don't do
No.
housekeeping,
It doesn't get dusty anymore, Nathan.
It does. Yeah, it does. People still use the hotel. The doors are still open. The hotel's still running. What you're saying is, well, most of the people who come here are using their own cutlery, going out to restaurants at night, bring their own sheets and a duster, and prefer to sterilize the room before they even sleep in it. So therefore, we don't need to do housekeeping because all of our guests are very well trained, and for some reason they sort themselves out in terms of the rooms. You're like, yes, but unfortunately, Neil, we still have to employ the maids because occasionally some dirty, smelly, stinky, degenerate globe believer will use one of the rooms. And the etiquette of the housemaids is to keep the rooms dust-free by just checking with the guests if they are aware of their axial rotation claim. And if they're going to sleep in the hotel, they better evidence it. You understand, Neil? Man, I dragged out that metaphor well, didn't I?
Got it.
Well, as to the question, isn't the claim that it's 15 degrees an hour as measured from the equatorial plane at solstice?
Yeah. I wonder where you were going there with that. Yes, it is. And?
Well, that's the plane of reference that you measure from. But yeah.
So you're turning it into a game. See, Neil?
The
wise and wonderful refracted curvature has turned it from a moan about housekeeping being used when we've already kept house. Instead, you just got to look for a you're going to need a flat earth answer to the question. That's it. Then you turn it into a fun game. Any evidence of axial rotation? Well, you'll need a flat plane to describe the 15 degrees an hour motion with respect to a plane of reference. So you're going to need a flat earth for that. How fun is that, Neil? What about any evidence of the distance to the sun?
Oh, dear.
If you're going to answer this with you're going to need a flat earth answer, then it'll take a while, won't it? It's not as simple as just saying you'll need a flat earth for that for the plane of reference, like with axial rotation. Not that doesn't have, still require a good understanding of the discussion. Go ahead.
You'll take the incident angle of radar or the elevation angle from a flat Earth and apply that to its distance.
Yeah, but they've got to originally have a distance to compare and contrast and say it's accurate if you're going to suggest that they're extrapolations. If you take radar bounce, for instance, like when they say that they're excuse me, bouncing signals off the moon, well, why would that be anything other than an absolute demolishment of our claim with no distances to the stars, just the angles used for ground positions, when they've got a positive assertion that they've got to be at these distances? And how do we know? Well, we've got a return signal, and what do you know? The time it takes matches what we would expect in a heliocentric spinning ball world with sky vacuums. Okay, well, how do you own the goalposts to fudge that figure and make it seem like the return values correlate with the distance that's going to be travelled for the return rate of the signal that you're sending? Well, the way you do it is you control all of the mathematics that gives you the scale and gives you the distance and gives you the speed of the light that's going to be travelling. With all of those in tow, you can suggest that the distance would be correlated with the return signal at the speed of light. Meanwhile, is there a speed of light? Are the distances that they're claiming to verify within their own system actually measured that way to begin with, or are they derived from flat earth angle measurements to the stars to extrapolate out these values to claim that they can correlate with them? I think it's the latter. It is.
Yeah, but not only that, but the idea of the transit that they'll use is dependent upon a flat Earth. They have a curving sky over a flat plane, and it's the celestial sphere diagram model. But the celestial sphere diagram, they take that as what the sky actually is, but it's still over a flat plane.
Right. So you're saying just the description of the transit for the Huygens extrapolation and assumption would also require flat plane measurement before you even make the assumption for the extrapolation to give scale and distance?
Yes, absolutely. It's when you look at how they'll depict it to get their geometry, doing the air quotes, it'll always be with respect to a flat plane. Always.
Yeah, I was about to hand this off to Neil and go, there you go, there's your shortcut. But it isn't, is it? Because we're into the process of orbital mechanics with Kepler's already in existence, potentially scalable to any value that you want to imply. You just need something within that system to scale it for our light years and distances. Well, that's Huygens and the occultation of the sun with Venus, right? Well, with that description, you're saying the measurement itself requires a flat Earth, but you've got to be into the wrangle-dangle of Huygens and Kepler and orbital motion to be able to state that in answer to a question about the distance to the sun. Ed?
Not only that, but to describe the transit, it will be with respect to a flat plane. They'll talk about their angle relationship along a horizontal that they call the left to right within the celestial sphere. It's got the name of the word. It's been a while. But yeah.
Predecession?
I'll have to look at it.
It's an azimuth.
Yes, the azimuth is with
angle.
respect to a flat plane. Yes, sorry. Thank you.
Who is that?
It was me, Embo or EMBO.
It was me, Embo.
You want to
Well,
spell.
props to you.
Yeah,
so,
no
it's,
problem.
so it's azimuth and altitude is what's being described when the occultation's described by them. Is that correct?
Yes. The
Cool.
azimuth and altitude, they are coordinates based on the observer. So the observer's horizon will be always the origin plane of the coordinate system.
Of course. Perfect. Thank you, John. Yeah, all roads lead to a flat Earth. That's no exception. And having them
like
need
say,
Go ahead. One day.
just saying, Nathan, like, I've said it the other day. I'm asking, wherever they try and explain anything about the globe, they will be referring to flatness and horizontal. And I've been asking him lately, explain how your globe's measured without, words not allowed to be used when explaining how Earth curve is measured, like sea level, horizon, horizontal, parallel, plumb, perpendicular, elevation, angles, 90 triangles, sea sextant, theodolite, water level, altitude, vertical, tangent, straight line, and flat. Now,
That was epic. Sorry, stop. Round of applause. List of things the Globers cannot say.
They can't do. They're trying to explain curvature. Why would they be mentioning any of them words? It's nothing to do with curvature. But when you ask them to explain curvature, they'll definitely drop one or two or three or four of them words in. And that's when you stop them.
Yeah, man. The barriers have bust, haven't they? The floodgates have fully failed. The waters are cascading in. And everything that everybody uses is in reference to a flat Earth. This is the point that everyone starts slapping their foreheads and going, oh my God, how did I not see it? I've been using this terminology and it's flat Earth as a reference for so long with a belief in cognitive dissonance that I didn't even know I had. Well, what do you know? I knew it was flat all along. This is the key, right? Show people how it's actually dealt with. Because all they've done until now is measured a flat Earth and then described in false dichotomy how that flat Earth measurement can be applied, according to them, correctly to a globe, therefore it functions perfectly as a globe, therefore we're on a globe. And how it doesn't function on a strawman flat Earth model. What doesn't work on a strawman flat Earth model? Flat Earth measurements. So let's stop whistling past this flat Earth proof that they've been using the whole time. Because that's the key to making everybody realise they already knew it was flat. That's how you get the masses to change their mind. Don't allow them to feel dumb about it. Allow them to think that they already knew it. And they did. This is the key. I'm going to stress this forever.
Yeah, but it makes me angry. We should have caught it a long time ago. I'm sorry. We were slow on the tape.
Maybe. Does it matter? No need to dwell in the negative in that regard. Maybe we'll look back with a guffaw of laughter as we realise how stupid we were to argue within the context of utilisation of flat Earth measurements with our opponent. Who cares? We're highlighting it now, Neil. Go ahead, whoever that was from Discord. Go ahead, from Discord.
Well, he's not answering. So I had a follow-up. I think that was deliberately set up that way, and they distracted us with everything else. You had the feast of nonsense, this, that, and the other thing. That was done deliberately.
Yeah, the road that our counterparts like Dave Weiss and Jaron and all those guys are on, it seems to be a road that was paid for them. Oh, something's gone very wrong with Discord. I've got an exclamation mark next to everybody's name. What's that all about? Anybody is righteous in there still? Righteous? There's a whole load of orange exclamation marks appeared next to everybody's name. Any idea why that's happened? I don't know what's going on in Discord. It's all gone nuts. I think Righteous might be pressing buttons he shouldn't. There we go. They've all gone now.
Discord still connected?
I think so. Can you hear me, Righteous? Have you been pressing buttons? It could be my PC. That could be a Twitch. I hope not. If we for whatever reason stop being live, then that's the end of the show, I guess. But I don't know. Hopefully, right.
Or somebody from Discord can acknowledge that they're still with us.
I'll jump in and have a look.
Well, yeah, it could be that your line to Discord is also messed up. That's why you're getting all those symbols.
You're back.
All right, I guess.
Did you
I was
lose me?
checking YouTube, but yeah, you're
did
back.
Did you press any buttons, Righteous, or did I just have a twitchy computer?
No, looks like I might have been on Discord. Something happened. I don't know what, but it's okay now.
Oh, good. There we go. Not me. Hooray! Well, it's all good now. Well, aside from that little momentary glitch, where the hell were we? What were we moaning about, Neil? I assume you were moaning.
Well, we were talking about how the Feast of Nonsense was a big distraction, and caused us to be late to the party.
Yeah, we just fed at the feast like everybody else did. You get to the party and you're like, I didn't know this party was going to be like this. Oh, I've got a great story about that. Anybody got any objection to a couple of minute anecdote?
Absolutely not.
Shoot.
Go ahead.
My brother many years ago got married to a Swiss girl. She was like an Olympic gymnast, very fit girl. And because they were living at the time in Switzerland, I got invited to go snowboarding with them, which I dutifully did. It was great fun. But while we're up in the Alps snowboarding, one of their friends comes around with a bespoke invitation. Now, it's all in Swiss German, so my Swiss German's pretty sketchy at the best of times, German generally. And as far as I could read on this invite, it said beach party. Now, I thought that I just don't understand what the language means. This doesn't seem to make any sense to me. But nevertheless, it says beach party on this invite, and we're invited, so let's go. So we go to the very peak of the mountain, where there's this hut. You can hear there's music going on. There's obviously a party. And doors open, and what hit me in the face was about, I don't know, 45 degrees C heat, absolutely blistering hot, and a room full of about 150 half-naked people spraying water pistols at each other. At the top of a mountain in the snow, they've got rubber walls, they've covered the whole thing so they can spray each other with these water pistols. And you're just like, this is not what I was expecting at the top of this cold mountain. You know what I mean? It's one of them. Well, that's kind of like us when we get to the Flat Earth party. You know, you walk up the mountain, suddenly you open the door, and there's this beach-like sand everywhere, half-naked. What's going on? You're like, here's your model, come party. Yeah, we're on an azimuthal equidistant. You're like, is it? This is my model. Yeah, this is your model. Don't forget, you know where the stars are. Go and have a fun time. They give you all this crap on a platter and send you on your way the second you get here.
Cool story, man.
I left out all the filth and debauchery that was also included in the story to keep it PG, but you get the general idea.
It's even like the Eratosthenes I've told you before. I remember a few years ago or whatever, you know, you'd be back and forth on the keyboard or on your phone debating a Glober, and they used to throw Eratosthenes at me, and I'd be cringing thinking, how am I going to deal with this then? How can I fight back about this one? They've just sent me evidence that the Earth's a globe, not realising that it was a flat Earth elevation angle measurement, using the ground as the horizontal baseline. So, yeah, we've all been there, haven't we?
Yeah. And we've spent, I don't know, probably at least a year, 2 years, maybe even longer, appealing to our counterparts and trying to educate them in the Feast of Nonsense. Now, for all I know, the whole thing's fixed, and the whole point of this is to get a whole bunch of people crowded around a map, like they did with Tiger Dan 10 years ago. You know, the first wave of people who are Christian come to this guy's English Christian guy, fairly level-headed, down-to-earth, reasonably common-ish guy. And he's just spitting flat earth truth here and there. And then he tries to make a map or model, fails and disappears. Well, here we are 10 years down the line, history repeating itself with a whole bunch of people all gathered around this model of a flat earth, subscribed, paid up members of the app that shows them it on the front of it, with a sun and a moon at a set distance above the Gleasons. You're like, okay, this is set up to fail then. This is asking to be put in false dichotomy. And now we've got that padding out with the Antarctic stuff. So it doesn't seem to matter how much we point out the fallacies that are used in years gone by with Netflix. Doesn't matter that this is the same fallacy. It's just everyone gathered around some garbage from the Feast of Nonsense ready for it to be vomited up. And yeah, obviously we've detached ourselves from that and then tried to make our counterparts detach themselves from it for all the right reasons. But maybe that's how it's ordained to be.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be. When the information comes your way, if you can't decipher it and realize what's going on, then fool on you.
Well, we can only do what we do here, Neil. We tell people Earth's measured flat. We show them how it's flat. Now we're currently showing how our opponents utilize it flat and have been for 10 years. So that's all we can do.
Yeah, but even look at the word elevation. I know you like that word. I do too. If they can't put 2 and 2 together on that, then I don't think there's any hope. We just keep banging our drums slowly, but really, just the word elevation. Wake up, people.
As hard as it is to find your way to me, if you're a newbie, it's nice to know, if I think back on what I wanted 10 years ago, that we exist now. Because I obviously try and replicate what I desired 10 years ago from what we do as a daily thing. So what I yearned for was really up-to-date, well-researched information about how Earth is flat. It's all I wanted. Not what I got. Got me banned when I asked for it from people who had that in their name of the video or claimed to talk about it in live streams. I didn't get it. Now I think, as much as it is a limited amount of avenues that can get you to these videos that we make daily, if you did find your way here, it wouldn't take long for you to realise the truth of the matter in regards to how Earth is dealt with, how it's functionally operating, how we've used it for years and still use it to this day, measured flat. Once you get to that, you can breathe easy. Because I did find it stressful for a reasonable amount of time, second guessing yourself, worrying that you could be wrong about it, because you haven't got the silver bullet yet. Simultaneously, you're being attacked from all sides, called an idiot, and asked for your silver bullet that you haven't got. Now, some people delude themselves into suggesting that they've got this silver bullet, and for others, they've got a complex way of justifying how Earth is dealt with in one particular respect that counteracts a globe claim of how Earth is dealt with. Now, again, over the years, I just wanted to produce for an audience what I wanted as an audience member back in the day. Now we're here. Good that we are. It's just unfortunate that we seem to, the more refined the argument gets here, the more of a stranglehold it seems the algorithm has over us. You know, I'll produce material that I think this is it. This is the absolute pinnacle of what we've done to date. It's always being refined, so every video is like that. But nevertheless, I expect it to do well. But for me going out of my way to go onto every single live stream to drop a link in a friendly channel that will allow me to do that with a mod spanner, these videos don't get any traction. So, I mean, I harp on about it all day long. Please share the show. Please share the show. Share button's just 2 clicks. It's really easy. Put it on Bebo and MySpace. But I say that because I want to keep the bills paid. You know, I've got to eBay my way out of an overdraft, hopefully for my birthday and before a presentation I'm going to be doing. That reminds me. So, at the end of the month, I'm going to be doing a meet and greet. So, Ian Leahy's going to be arranging this down south. So, he's asked me to do a 2-minute little plug for it. So, although this won't be that 2-minute plug, I might as well make the audience aware that he's going to be arranging that. He's done it in the past, so if you're a local to these meet and greets that he's done one for allegedly Dave more recently in the last 2-3 weeks, and it was a good success as far as I'm aware. I've been asked to put together a presentation. I won't be. I'll just go and I'll sit there and go, oh, what do you want to know? You want to know about Earth's measured flat? Yeah, fine, I'll tell you about that. No worries. But I'm not a presentation kind of guy. You know, I'm more on the fly. If you want to know about flat Earth, I'll tell you about it. But I've never written a damn thing down the entire time doing these videos. So there we go. There's my little plug. It'll be taking place in the south in Dorset. So be here or be sphere. I think it's on the 27th, which is a Tuesday from memory. But I'll give you more information as I get it. But I have agreed to do it. My only concern, and I'm sure I stressed this in one of the pre-shows the other day, was that I'm overdrawn. So I'm like, well, the guy's trying to arrange it with me. I had to be honest with him. I go, look, I don't even know if I can cover the petrol to come down there. You know, I'm going to have to e-beg my way out. Maybe I'll have to do a campaign or something just so I can cover my overheads. And to his good grace, he was like, look, if you need me to sub you some fuel, I'm like, look, man, I don't want to be in that position to have to ask you to lend me money for fuel. It's crap. So, you know, in the meantime, if you see me e-begging my way out of an overdraft, you'll know why. And it's because it's preventing me, my limited resource that is, from doing things that people are requesting me to do, which is really sad to be in this position, but e-begging is what I've had to accept for 5 years, so it's no big deal in that regard. But it'd be nice to be out of my overdraft before my birthday in about 5 days' time. Anywho, enough of my e-begging and moaning.
Nathan, could you ask the gentleman arranging it that there's a pub nearby?
I don't even drink. Why do you want a pub nearby?
It usually helps.
It probably will be in a pub. I don't know. I haven't got enough information. I've just agreed to do it at this stage.
Shame you don't like. I mean, I'm not saying sometimes the presentations are good for people who are sort of finding things difficult to understand. Like a drawing and some. You can do it on computers, can't you? Or you can use a whiteboard. When you're explaining about ground positions and elevation angles above sea level, and even if you wanted to explain about the Eratosthenes, how that was a flat Earth measurement, and how that was done with a, having to presuppose a 360 degrees circle, and then some mathematical multiplication and division came into it. When people see that, they can understand it a little bit more. So it's a bit of a shame that I think that'd be good if you could do something like that.
Couple of quick shout outs. Clip Brown says, still here, still love it. Thank you for the super chat. Also, Misfit FB 850. Wouldn't that be out, down, south, Nathan? I think what you're trying to... Yeah, you're saying I've said down, south, when I should have said out, south, as in out towards the horizon in a southern direction. Yeah, okay. Thank you for the super chat, but you are absolutely correct. I don't mind being corrected on it. Also, shout out to Jason Dean. Says, happy birthday. It's not for a few days. Brian said it the other day just for comedic effect. He was just by chance pretty close by about a week. So a few people have sent me Skype messages saying happy birthday. I'm like, it's not my birthday yet. But if you did want to help me out with my overdraft, PayPal links in the info box below this video. But yeah, anyway, in all seriousness, as much as I am going to genuinely e-beg, that wasn't joking. Mark Sargent typically puts out a little link for these videos, so it might even be, I don't know how he works in this regard, but it might be me that ends up making it, or maybe he makes it, I don't know. But in the past, he likes to advertise if there's these meet and greets. He certainly did it when I arranged one 8 years ago, down in Oxford. Out in Oxford. So I'm sure Mark Sargent will do a little promo for it so that people of the south of England can toddle along to Dorset if they choose to make maybe an hour or two drive to see me, little old me, talking about flat Earth. If you're expecting a polished presentation, you won't get one. You'll just get me doing this in front of you live. Shout out to Vlad on 0 degrees. Happy few days before birthday. Oh, thank you. I'm going to turn 44. It's not like it's an important birthday by any degree. Once you go past 30, they all lose all significance beyond, like today, me assessing how poor I am. Oh, am I going to really be overdrawn when I hit my birthday? Oh. Let's hope people give me money. 120 people
You could
watching.
bring a few prototypes of your book and sell them for $39.59.
$39.59. That's the price of the hardback of my book when we finally get it finished. It's on a hiatus at the moment. Everyone's on holiday.
You could bring a prototype of it.
Of the book? Do you call them prototypes?
Yeah, a draft.
A draft, you mean? Yeah, there's plenty of those. It's on to about its 5th draft. Neil's laughing because he's been there the whole time while we've been doing it. Fun for everyone but me. Another shout out to Jomo. Says, overdraft. It's my birthday on Sunday. The near 50 here. I think he means he's turning 50. I think 50 is an important birthday. You know you're that much closer to death.
Exactly. First of all, birthdays, I don't understand. You celebrate every year of going to the grave. What freaking sense does that make?
I don't know. It's arbitrary, isn't it?
We like
Again, John?
As physical beings, we like to measure things constantly. And our age is one of those things that we measure constantly.
I think you're going to have a hard time saying you're going to need a flat earth for that. when it comes to age. But my grandson, I think he was way ahead of the game.
Wrong.
The kid used
I
to
can do
cry every time you
Both me
sang
and John
Happy
want to
Birthday.
interrupt you straight away. No, wrong. You
I
will
would
need a
as
flat
well.
Earth for that.
Yeah. Sundials, mate.
Sun tracking, full
Nice.
stop. How do you think we derived
15
those
degrees
years,
per
Neil?
hour. Look,
Sorry, we're all keen to prove a flat Earth with this. Sorry, I think more importantly than anybody, John should go. Go ahead, John.
oh yeah, the 15 degrees an hour that we associate or correlate to time is with respect to a flat plane.
Yeah, same as axial rotation. Everything's with respect to a flat plane. Earth is measured flat.
Can't get around it.
Isn't axial rotation not only in the case of the Earth, but in general measured in relation to an axis, not a plane?
Yeah, what's the axis in respect to?
In respect to the two celestial poles in the sky.
That your axis is perpendicular to the plane of reference.
Both.
Yeah, you're talking about reference frames, aren't you? Those frames of reference are flat. Non-inertial, inertial reference frame.
Frames of reference are more of a physics term. I'm talking about coordinate systems. Geometry.
This guy's a baller.
I don't think he is.
Oh, brother, we got Knucklehead EMBO on.
Oh, he
We
is a
got
baller.
another issue with him after
Don't
you're.
poison
Hold on
the
a
well.
second. Right after you.
Don't poison
Hold
the
on.
well.
Right after you're done. Hold on a second. Right after you're done with this little charade into reference frames, we got another little issue with EMBO. Carry on.
I was done. You're going to need a flat Earth for an axis to be perpendicular to describe with horizontal reference frames, non-inertial, inertial reference frames. These are all flat. Chat, Patriot, big spender. Woohoo! $100 in the super chat. Here's another wager that you'll knock out another glober on your birthday. Okay, I hope so. As in, get another glober to confess that they are measuring Earth flat too. I hope so. Thank you for the super chat. Wow.
Just let me know when you're done and I can start speaking.
I'm done, unless you wanted to disagree again. Maybe rinse and repeat 16 more times that you don't need a reference frame that's flat to describe non-inertial, inertial reference frames and axes that are perpendicular with respect to them. I mean, we could do that 16 more times, but I'm just going to hand over to QE.
Okay.
Yeah,
So if
he's a
QE wants
dupe.
to speak.
Are you done with that charade?
Yes.
No, not you. Him.
I can comment on the reference frames if you want. Reference frames, they don't really have a shape. They are coordinate systems. Coordinate systems in the meaning, like, for example, you can have a Cartesian plane. This would be a 2D coordinate
Sorry,
system.
Cartesian
because
what?
it have two
Sorry,
axes.
Cartesian.
The
Stop. I
x-axis.
didn't quite hear you. You said it too quickly. A Cartesian what?
A plane.
A plane? Okay, I
Yeah.
think we're done.
But
You'll need a flat Earth for that. Preferably you won't rumpus the victory dance like every other bonehead in the last 7 months. So that will need a horizontal plane of reference XY coordinates in a Cartesian coordinate system that ipso facto, because QE's here, is flat. Yeah, we're done. You will need a flat Earth to describe axial rotation. You don't have to like it. Earth will be described as measured and with respect to this flat plane in your Cartesian plane. That's a plane.
Yeah.
Just so you're absolutely clear of how utterly annihilating for you that is. That's not a globe. That's a plane. Okay.
But the problem is that
There is no
2D
problem.
coordinate
No problem.
systems can be used
There is no
only
problem.
when a motion happens only in two dimensions. So if an object additionally moves also in the third dimension, because we live in the three-dimensional world, then you would need a three-dimensional coordinate system, not a planar. So also with the z-axis. A 2D system would only be possible to describe a motion if something doesn't move on the third axis. Like if you move something on a surface of a table, you don't move on a surface of a table something up and down. So only 2 dimensions are enough to describe the motion.
Yeah, that's how we do.
Objection. Are you implying that adding a z-axis is going to curve your x and y now? That's absurd.
Yeah, the x and y
No.
axis is still a flat plane. It doesn't matter if you add the third axis. Who cares?
Because
Meanwhile-
this
You
is
don't
what
know
is required
Okay,
for
it's
describing motion in
just
3D.
because he's attempted to maybe seem like he's got some argumentation rebuttal, I'll reiterate the point again. No, you will need a flat Earth for this. It's the plane, the one that you thought that you didn't need and wasn't required, and then went on to detail in the coordinate system known as Cartesian, the plane that's needed. So you will need that plane. Okay, that's the third time. Can I hand over to QE now? Or we're on 3. I said we could do it 16 more times. That's 3. Can I hand off to QE, or do we have to slow it down while we do it a 4th time?
No, you can speak.
Go ahead, QE. We're done.
Yeah, go to Master B and pull up his photo or a diagram from Wiki. You're going to have some fun with this.
Done.
Of course, I can't see it all that well.
Blue man standing on top of ball.
Yeah, EMBO. Well, you sure can chatter, can't you? And say absolutely nothing and contradict yourself with every damn breath. Can you please explain your little diagram here? You know which one I'm talking about. The one with the nadir and your astronomical and true horizons and your horizons that you're looking down at the ground at. You know that one.
Yes. So this diagram is basically used to show 2 types of horizon. The first one is defined in relation to the vertical. So using the horizontal plane. So it's basically 90 degrees from vertical. And if you have something like a physical reference, like a plumb bob, let's say, measure 90 to that, this will be the astronomical horizon. But the true horizon is the horizon not referenced by the direction, by the horizontal, is referenced by just
Ellie,
looking at the
Can you
horizon.
define
So the
horizon,
apparent
motor
boundary of
mouth?
the sky and the earth.
Define horizon, motor mouth.
It has different definitions.
No, it
There's
doesn't.
no
That's a
one
law of
definition of
identity
horizon.
violation.
It is.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Horizon doesn't have different definitions. Horizon, that would be a law of identity violation. Please define horizon.
It's just linguistics. It doesn't have anything to do with law of identity. There are different definitions for not only horizon, just multiple words.
Oh, really? So amoeba has a different definition. It's actually an anvil.
Are we
What's
done?
horizon, knuckle dragger?
We done? He's basically saying it doesn't matter about the definitions because I want to equivocate with 2 of them. That's his last response to you.
I just see the diagram up on your screen. It's not showing. It just has a nadir on it.
So
Yeah. What else?
Shut up.
So meantime,
Hold on, there's a technical issue. Sorry, EMBO. That's what you gave me. Did you want something different?
One second.
no.
I got to go find something. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's not showing too well on your screen, Nathan. It's got an astronomical horizon, a true horizon. It's got the true horizon or astronomical horizon. I can't remember which one. Has a line at 45 degrees. We've all seen this diagram before. Let me see if I can get another one. He's posted another one in here.
I don't understand why anything would be labeled horizon in this diagram if it's orthographic.
1 second.
You can't have a horizon in an orthographic view. I was thinking about this the other day, and what cemented my mind on it was Brian's video from today talking about perspective. Very good video. Breaks it down in an orthographic view. And while he's doing it, I'm thinking, how can you identify a horizon in an orthographic view?
You can't. You're not allowed
Does
to
the
use the word
tangent point
horizon.
with the earth?
Sorry, say again, EMBO?
as the tangent point with the surface.
Tangent points aren't a demarcation that would run the span of your view. A horizon's not a single point.
Yeah, so this would be only when the observer is looking at one direction. For you to get the entire kind of circle, you would have to rotate the observer around.
No. You seem to be confusing what's going on in
the
an
third
orthographic
dimension.
view. I thought you finished. Sorry, go ahead.
No, obviously not. This isn't only about this problem. If you want to represent 3D view, you would have to have a 3D simulation like in Blender to represent it correctly. In 2D, you can only have a 2D projection of a 3D image. So logically, for example, a circle, which is the horizon, we translate as to a point. Because the circle is in the third dimension in this image, which cannot be represented in the 2D image.
I gotcha. Yeah, so what a horizon is a representation of what is apparent, what you see, how it appears to you. You understand that, right?
Yes.
Okay, do you understand
basically
that?
Where you see the sky appearing to meet the ground.
Okay, you can't do that in an orthographic view. It's the second time I've said it. You've justified it by saying it's a projection. Yeah, well, that isn't what you're seeing then, is it? Because what you're seeing in an orthographic view is the side of your own head. No, that isn't what you're seeing if you're looking at the side of your own head. Therefore, drawing out tangency to something and labelling it horizon is just a bastardization of an orthographic view that can't have a horizon in it, because that isn't a horizon. A tangent point in an orthographic view is not a horizon. Now, that's part of the dupe with Earth Curve, because they remove all aspects of perspective by putting it in an orthographic view and then asserting that some of those effects that we can describe with perspective are actually Earth Curve. And in this case, you're describing a point of tangency in an orthographic view that does not represent what we see in any way, shape or form as a horizon. No, horizons are not single points, ever. But you think they are, and are justifying why this view is what we see. It isn't. That is not what we see.
There's another diagram that he posted, Nathan.
Gotcha. I'll pop it up on
Can you
screen.
pull that up?
Sure.
Pull that up. Listen to this, what this idiot said. Nice little wiki diagram for us, too. Thanks. We've never seen this before. Tell me when it's up.
Oh, sorry. I thought I had. Yes, it is.
Here's what he says. Here's another shut up. Here's another diagram showing that, well, but it uses different terminology. He says the true horizon here is what I refer to as the astronomical horizon, and what I call true horizon is the visible horizon in this diagram, Nathan.
Okay, I'll pop it back up in a second, but Sensual Goat sent a super chat. I'll buy you some orthographic glasses for your birthday, and it'll all make sense, says Sensual Goat. Thank you for the super chat.
Yeah, that diagram that's pulled up right now, what's going on there is it says true horizon, and it's the plane of reference, right? And then you have a line of correlation drawn to an angular relationship between eye level and surface level, two flat planes that you're going to calculate that arc with.
Sure. I mean, you can extrapolate out these ideas of what orthographic representations call horizons, but they aren't. No, it's a mathematical magic trick to take information in regards to what we observe at an altitude with respect to a plane and then call it this and have all sorts of different identifiable horizons in it. It's just nonsense. Meanwhile, this diagram represents you seeing the side of your own head and a point for a horizon. Horizons aren't points.
How do you have a horizon on a screen?
You can't.
So the game is over.
The guy used 5 words that I said they're not allowed to use
Say again, sorry.
when describing. He's used 5 words that I listed down that you can't use these words when explaining how curvature is measured. It's got nothing to do with it. Horizontal, sea level, plumb, perpendicular, tangent. Nothing to do with curvature.
Yeah. in this
Yes, Neil,
says-
it is over, but he'll be here next week saying the same thing in chat.
Okay, well, let's just clear it up with him. He is still there, EMBO.
Yes, I'm here all the time.
Okay. On this diagram that you sent, it says, we can see that as the observer's height of eye is raised above sea level, his visible horizon dips below the true horizon. Can you see that?
Yes, I see.
Okay. So do you appreciate that in order to give this mathematical extrapolation in orthographic view, you're utilizing sea level to do it?
Yes.
Do you appreciate that sea level is level?
Yes.
So you're going to need a flat earth to make this orthographic extrapolation and bastardization of multiple horizons based on a flat earth. Because you're describing and extrapolating from sea level. So you need a flat earth to start this process for your globe belief. You understand that, right?
I don't, because
Stop.
the sea level is modeled as spherical.
Stop. Why are you telling me you don't? It says it in your citation you've given me. Don't start by telling me you don't need sea level when it says it there. Don't say I don't. You do. It's right there in your citation you gave us. Just pointed it for the audience level. Sea, right next to each other here. Sea level. You do need sea level. It is level. You will require it. It's described in this citation. Don't start with I don't need it. You do. Could you just confirm you understand?
Level basically means...
Oh, sorry.
Level basically means of equal height, but this definition doesn't give you the shape which the height is referenced to. You would need a shape that the height is referenced to in the first place, which can be really any shape.
Why?
In reality,
Sorry, no,
usually
having
it's a sphere.
no, having no part higher or lower than the other level doesn't need a shape to reference. Are you delusional? Don't need a shape to reference when you're describing something having no part higher or lower than the other. That's got nothing to do with shapes. You seem crazy.
Then
that's a nutty thing to say. Now, I'm not going to berate you just yet, but Mark 1, mental note made. Man seems idiotic. Says having no part higher or lower than another, that's level. In this case, sea level, part of his requirement. It's also non-responsive. Yeah? Do you appreciate you need a flat earth for this? Do you, Nathan, appreciate that having no part higher or lower than the other requires a shape to reference? No, you are utterly batshit insane if that is your response. So we'll try it again. You'll need a flat earth for it. It says it right in your citation. Sea level.
But the word higher is completely meaningless without the reference.
It doesn't say higher. It doesn't say that. It does not say that. That word's not there.
Then
is it that I say the words sea level are there, and you say, well, the words higher, what, like in your garbage response that non sequitur way about needing a shape to reference it to? No, you think it references a globe shape. Sea level's just sea level. Sea level is required. It's part of your maths. Now, we point this out on a daily basis and you're bracing against it and telling me what you don't need. It's in your citation. Sea level is needed. Fourth time. Need you to say yes. Yeah, I understand we'll need a flat earth for this. It's protracted silence or telling me that you didn't mean to give me a citation that said you need sea level? Or that sea level needs a shape for it? I just need you to acknowledge you'll need a flat earth for this because it's right there in your bleeding citation, mate. Don't need to do it more than 5 times as I've just done. Can you just acknowledge?
it doesn't need a shape to it, that's my point.
Nobody said it did other than you. Nobody's saying it does other than you. Last time you made a rebuttal. Now you're saying, well, nobody says it does need a shape. Sea level is level. You will need a flat earth for this. You've attempted twice to say it does need a referenceable shape to compare having no part higher or lower than the other. Now you're saying, well, it doesn't need a shape. That's non-responsive. Why is it, you pathetic weasel, that you cannot acknowledge the very simple words in your own bleeding citation? Sea level. We will unequivocally require a flat Earth for this.
So if it doesn't require a shape, then why?
Why is he going on about this non sequitur for the third time? Nobody's talking about shape when we talk about sea level. Why are you strawmanning us for the third time? We're not talking about shape. Sea level isn't shape. I'm not suggesting it is. You did suggest that we'd need a shape to reference for level. Then, after I pointed out we didn't, you said we don't need a shape to reference for level. Now you're asking about the shape. Are you nuts?
Yeah. Yeah, he's delusional.
So amazing. So we all agree that sea level can be whatever shape it can be.
Sea level isn't
From
a
this
shape, you
definition.
batshit insane nutter. Sea level you think's a shape. Now we're getting to the nitty gritty, ladies and gentlemen. Now we know what's really going on here. This idiot thinks sea level is a shape. No. Sea level's not a shape, you nutter. Hello?
What is it? What is it? Then?
It's sea level. That's what it is. The clue is in the title. It does not need any further explanation. It needs an acknowledgement that it's absolutely required. It's right there in all the globe Earth maths described as surface level. It must be level. It must be the surface because it's going to have eye level parallel with it. I'm telling you, it's there, sea level. You're asking me about shapes that are involved because in your numpty globe head mind, sea level must be a shape. No, it isn't. It's just the flat Earth that's needed to be measured for you to make your global assertion after measuring Earth flat with sea level. That's not a shape. Fourth time.
But it's a geometric concept. So it has to have some, even if you don't want to call this a shape, some property in 3D space.
What?
Like if you place points of equal elevation above sea level, they would trace some shape.
Or
In my
equal
position,
elevation's
it
not a
is an
shape.
arc. In your position,
Man,
it
it's
will
the
be a
fifth
plane.
time. I'm done with him, right? He can't seem to get out of this groove. It's like you're a damaged record. It just skips straight back into the same groove, Dumbo. Areas of equal elevation, you say. That's not a shape. Sea level, you say. That's not a shape. You keep barking on about shape. I get it. You're a numpty globe believer. You think that describing things that are intrinsically not shaped as anything, that's level. Yeah? That's not a shape. Hello? At best, if you're going to describe it on a Cartesian plane, you could describe it as an aspect, but it seems you're too stupid to realise that and can only think in terms of globes. No, we're not talking about globes, Dumbo. Not everything is your numpty globe belief. In this case, sea level. You hear that and go, oh, it must be globe shape then. No, sea level isn't any shape. At best, you could describe an aspect with it. Do you understand? Okay then, clearly, no response is the best I can get out of him. Literally zero. I'll just make my conclusions and he'll probably start chanting through the middle of them. In order to reify a globe to have a constant track in a record groove that you're bouncing into constantly, where you think everything must have a shape, because you've got a numpty globe shape belief, then you must first measure Earth flat to get to that fundamentalist religious zealot globe belief. Now, in this guy's mind, even though it's there, written on the page, sea level, he can't quite figure it out in his mind. There can't be a sea level if Earth's globe. Yeah, there must be for you to reify this model of a globe into existence, but in order to do that, you've got to have a sea level to do it with. Comprende? Is it sinking in? It's only been 6 attempts, mate. Dumbfounded silence, or you telling me no, no, no. It must be a shape. 5 times.
So if sea level traces a planar, if you really want to avoid the word shape, I don't know what word to substitute this with in your
Right.
newspeak.
I'm not trying to avoid a
but
shape.
Are there any
It doesn't suggest a shape. The words aren't shaped. They aren't hinting at shape. The words are sea level, but you're now telling me if I want to avoid shape, it doesn't have the word shape anywhere in your citation whatsoever. What it does have is the words sea level, but you're fixated on shape. Like I've already explained to my audience, having basically bypassed the need to actually explain it to you, because you're stuck in a fundamentalist zealot cognitive loop, where no matter what I say, it doesn't matter how many times I point out that the words on the table in your citation, the flat earth requirement for your claim, the basis of your zealot globe belief is sea level, you still think that we need to talk about shape, or it's me not wanting to talk about shape. No, Dumbo, you're the one with the shape fixation when we're talking about sea level, which isn't a shape. There's no hint of it being a shape. It's your zealot belief getting the better of you, mate.
Okay. Do you believe a plane is a type of shape?
It isn't. Do you believe a plane is a shape?
Yes, I do.
Okay, that's the problem then. Go and look up the definition of plane.
It's a red herring fallacy anyway, because none of this is proving curvature.
None of it's proving curvature and none of it's acknowledging the flat earth requirement. Every time I tried to get him to acknowledge the flat earth requirement in sea level for his claim, I get a stony silence. Maybe there'll be a segue into a new question of me. Maybe there'll be another assertion that I don't want to talk about shape. What shape? It doesn't say that. It says sea level. Maybe I should be asked about whether or not sea level as an aspect could be described as a shape. And when I say it's non sequitur, told that I just don't want to talk about the shape. You're the only one that wants to turn an aspect, that's flat earth, sea level, into a shape. Because you've got a belief that earth has a shape. It's measured with regards to its flat aspect, though. That's not a shape. That is how it's measured.
I mean, everything that's physical has a shape, or else it wouldn't be physical.
Okie dokie then.
Is there anything physical that doesn't have a shape?
What's the shape of gas then? What's the shape of gas? Go ahead.
Uh-oh.
Is the shape of the container the gas is in, but it's still a
So the
shape.
gas has no inherent shape, so it takes the shape of its containment. That's fascinating. Non sequitur, non-responsive. You'll need a flat earth in the form of sea level that is not a shape. You constantly, 6 attempts so far, to turn this aspect that is required to be measured, detailed, and is part of your globe earth reification mathematics for you to have this belief, is surface level. Now, we know it's not going to be conforming to a spherical surface, because if it was, it wouldn't be parallel with eye level for the maths to function. So we're definitely going to need a flat surface level. It's described in your reference as sea level. That isn't a shape. And we've done it 6 times, son.
Okay, so let's just assume that sea level traces a plane. In that case, besides just words, we would expect physical measurements to show that it is indeed a plane. So where are these measurements?
Okay, so like elevation angles with respect to the latitude grid would be considered measurements of our planar surface and the angles we get from it when we angle our tool towards this light.
Seismology,
How is that measurement
radar.
conclusive of sea level being flat?
You want to list all of them?
Right.
All of them. Every single measurement you can point to uses a plane of reference. It has to, else it's not a measurement.
That yes,
I agree
yes,
that
level.
they can use a planar reference, but
Just
if
to answer your
the sea
question, though.
level was also a planar reference, then we wouldn't observe any deviation besides between these references. But if the Earth is a globe, if you trace a horizontal plane along the sea, then you would observe deviation where the sea would be dropping from that plane over distance.
From that plane of what?
The horizontal plane of the observer, 90 degrees from the vertical.
The horizontal plane of reference.
Yes.
So that would be a flat Earth that we'll be referencing then.
No, it would be the horizontal plane at the observer's position.
Sorry, it seems like you're in this position now where you're caught between a rock and a hard place. We will need to reference the horizontal plane. You're now saying you don't need it. Now, in your globe, you do need a horizontal plane of reference. You will need to reference it. And I've already pointed out that in your maths, it's called surface level. In your citation, it's called sea level. And it's a horizontal plane of reference by your last submission. It seemed like after me reiterating that, you wanted to deny that you'd need to reference the horizontal plane of reference. So I'll just give you your positions that you can take. You can either deny that you will need to reference a horizontal plane for your globe belief. That is to say, you have no foundation whatsoever for your globe belief because it requires a horizontal plane of reference to start the process. That's a fact. Alternatively, you can accept that we require to reference a horizontal plane. So which is it? Deny your globe has an origin measurement in this plane of reference, or accept that we reference a plane. Which is it?
Yes, we do reference a plane, but the problem isn't about referencing it, but about the fact that the Earth isn't that plane, and we can actually use that plane.
I just got to stop you there. Sorry. Stop. Sorry. You started off by saying we do measure Earth flat, and then went on to say that we don't use a flat Earth, by way of suggesting that we do require reference to a horizontal plane, and then you denied it immediately afterwards. So just so we're clear on the first statement, we will be referencing Earth as a horizontal plane, like in your maths where it says surface level for a globe. It's fundamental. It's the genesis of the claim. So we'll just get that one step out the way first before we hear your apologies for how ball-shaped it's not being measured. We will need to reference a horizontal plane, won't we?
Yes, but the leap from there...
No, not yes, but. Yes, but's going to be welcome to flat Earth, my friend. I don't need your apologies. Were you not listening? I just need you to acknowledge we will measure Earth flat. I don't need the apologetics. You can give those afterwards once I've got a clean acknowledgement of what we will be measuring first.
No, we wouldn't be measuring. We don't measure...
Oh, you think referencing a plane is not in regards to angle measurement, seismology measurement, and all the other measurements that we've detailed? If we aren't measuring it, how can you possibly infer that this would suggest we're on a spherical surface if we're not measuring the Earth flat? How could we infer your sphericity from those measurements then? You're saying you didn't like the hard place and are now going to shimmy over to the rock and tell us that you don't want to base your globe belief on these because they're not measurements of a flat Earth? So we're not measuring a flat Earth.
You can measure things in relation to the horizontal plane, but you cannot measure...
So I don't need the apologetics, so we can measure Earth flat then?
No, you can establish the...
So we can't measure Earth flat, then you've got nothing to base your globe belief on. You've only got two choices in this matter. Deny that we're measuring Earth flat, in which case you don't have a genesis for your globe belief. Or, as you did twice, accept that we will measure Earth flat, and then very quickly go on to your, but I'm going to apologise for how globe-shaped it isn't, without me stopping you. No, I stop you at the point that you acknowledged twice already that we will need to reference a horizontal plane. That would be Earth flat and our measurement of it in reference to it as a plane. You accepted it twice, and I stopped you in your apologetics. So which is it to be? I've got to give you your choices again. You don't accept the flat Earth measurement that you need to reify into your globe. Like with sea level, you don't think that's going to be a measurement that we can acquire, so you can't base your globe on it like in this citation on screen. You're going to deny the sea level requirement and say we can't measure it. Okay? If that's the case, as you've shimmied over to the rock, then you haven't got anything to base your globe measurements on like in this diagram. If we haven't got a sea level that can be measured, then you haven't got anything to base your globe claim on. So why are you even here claiming a globe if you can't measure anything? If we can't measure it, how are you going to base a globe on it?
That's a false dilemma fallacy. Very only present.
So did you just call me fool and suggest that this dilemma was my fool's dilemma? No, it's not a fool's dilemma. You either accept that you've got a flat Earth measurement, it's on screen for my audience and has been the entire time in the obfuscated 7 times shape plus sea level aspect that you couldn't even mention and constantly talked about shape. No, sea level is what you will need and it will have to be measured. Now you're saying, no, we don't need to measure a flat Earth. Yeah, you do. And if you say you don't, then you won't have anything to base your globe on. Now, if you do accept that we will be measuring Earth flat, with sea level, surface level, parallel with eye level, as is used in globe Earth maths, for you to have a claim in the first place of a globe to believe in, then you'll be accepting that we're measuring Earth flat for that. Those are your two positions. It's not a fool's dichotomy. It's a true dichotomy. Either accept Earth is measured flat for you to base your globe belief on, or deny that you've got any measurements at all, and then you haven't got a globe measurement at all. Those are your two choices. Simple.
No. I deny that the horizontal plane is the Earth because it's a baseless assertion you cannot substantiate.
So sea level isn't sea level. You can't measure it for your globe claim then. So as it says on screen, this guy's now denying the very citation he gave us because he says we can't measure sea level. Okay. Well, if we can't measure, why are you rumpusing me? I've just taken your answer. No, we can't measure horizontal planes that are Earth in the form of sea level as per your citation. Well, then you don't have any measurements to base your claim on. You haven't got any globe claims because you're not measuring it, are you? You can't measure it. The fundamental requirement for a flat Earth in the form of sea level. If we can't measure it, you haven't got anything for your globe claim. Goodbye, globe claim.
The horizontal plane is something completely different
Right,
from
that horizontal plane we can't measure? Why are you referencing the... Are you accepting that we're going to be measuring a horizontal plane now? Because you seem to immediately start with something that you say we can't measure.
No. Horizontal plane is not...
Is it the one we can measure or the one we can't measure? Which horizontal plane? The one we can or the one we can't measure?
Something that is created by you isn't measured by you. It's just created.
Oh, so we're not measuring sea level, ladies and gentlemen. We're just doing a little imagination land measurement where we're not talking about sea level measurements. Those aren't measurements. He hasn't got anything to measure. There's no measurements for his globe claim. He hasn't got anything to base on. He's not measuring it. He's doing it in La La Land, ladies and gentlemen. So your globe claim's based in La La Land measurements. Is it you haven't got any measurements for your globe then? They're just La La Land imaginings. No measurement for your globe then. Done in La La Land, son. That would be the rock that you stood on. Fool's dichotomy? Or are you stood on a rock that no longer has any measurements because you're doing them in La La Land? Or did you want to go back to the hard place where you will start your sentence with the horizontal plane that we will be measuring, that you need for your globe? Because the moment you do accept that we can measure it, Earth, flat, I'll be welcoming you to flat Earth because you'll be needing that for your globe faith. So rather than starting a statement with the horizontal plane, end quote, you, and then thinking that I'm not going to notice that you'll need that horizontal plane to start your claim with, it'd just be nice if I didn't point out that that is a flat Earth measurement that you'll be using and denying at the same time. So which is it? Is the horizontal plane you mentioned a couple of times ago one we can measure, or is it the one that would leave you with no measurements for your globe? Which is it?
It's an abstract construct that is created by the observer. It's not already in nature, and then you measure it. It's created by you. When you want to
so we
use
can't
it as a
measure it.
reference.
So we can't measure it. Well, you've got nothing for your globe to be based on then if you can't measure it.
Is he saying
No,
that
you can-
level?
You
Hold
can
on, John.
establish it
Hold
at
on.
the moment when
Hold
you
on.
want to make the measurement.
Hold on, I'll keep him dancing between this rock and a hard place as long as the audience keeps giving me super chats. He's got two choices. Either he can say, no, we can't measure it. Okay, so you haven't got measurements for your globe then. Or he can accept that we can measure the horizontal plane the observer is standing on for things like elevation angles that we'll measure. Because we do, can and will and have and must measure them for his globe faith or anything else. So that's where we're at. He can do this as long as he chooses. I don't mind. I love it. Deny that you've got any globe measurements because it's La La Land imaginary tangent planes that aren't measurable. Or accept that we can get a measurement of the horizontal plane the observer is standing on. to be useful for your globe claim, at which point I'll welcome you to Flat Earth because we're measuring Earth flat. Let's do this dance all day. EB, EMBO. We can measure to get your globe, Faith, or not. Which is it?
No, horizontal plane isn't something that you measure. It's something that you establish. With a theodolite, for example.
Okay. We can't measure it, then you've got no measurements to base your globe belief on then, have you? Why would you be here with a globe, Faith, based on no capability of measuring a horizontal plane like sea level? If you can't get any measurements for your globe, you've got no globe to believe in. You don't have any measurements.
No, I have measurements as the basis of which I use an abstract construct that I establish.
What measurements have you got? There's a latitude lines on your globe. Where are they measured?
Do you want me to send a link to a specific measurement?
The latitude measurements are wrapped around your globe reification belief zealotry. Where'd you get them from, the latitude measurements on your globe?
From celestial navigation, probably.
What do they measure? What do they measure?
Usually 3 altitude angles to
altitude
stars.
Angles? Oh, well, let's just define what that is and see if it's got the word measure in it. The altitude angle, sometimes referred to as solar elevation angle, describes how high the sun appears in the sky. The angle is measured between an imaginary line between the observer and the sun and the horizontal plane the observer is standing on. End quote. Sustainable by design altitude angle. So we're going to need a horizontal plane the observer is standing on to make this measurement of altitude angle. So those lines that you say are wrapped around a globe originate in measuring a plane that the observer is standing on. It is a measurement, it is a plane, and we do definitely need them. They're wrapped around your stupid, idiotic globe belief. So we'll need to measure Earth flat for them. It is a measurement, I just defined it. We will need a horizontal plane to be standing on to get it. And it will definitely be wrapped around your globe after we've measured it flat for you to believe in that globe. So just so the audience is clear, given this guy's danced several times between his rock and a hard place, the rock being where he has no measurements for his globe to believe in, and the hard place being a flat Earth angle measurement to Polaris in this instance. You'll need a flat Earth, won't you, mate? You understand the definition of altitude angle measurement and how it requires a horizontal plane to be standing on? Do you understand that?
Yes. So let's say we're doing these measurements on a flat Earth, then in that case it would be very trivial to demonstrate this process using an assumption that the Earth is flat, which was never done in history.
Sorry, did you say, let's say we are measuring with respect to a flat plane?
Yeah.
No, we are.
Yeah,
Did you? Hold on. I'm still talking. I'm still talking before you start yammering through the question. Excuse me, I'm still talking. Still talking. Rumpusing begins. So, did you say we can say we're measuring with respect to a flat plane when I've just defined that's exactly what we're doing? Yeah, we can, and you are now going to concede that. We are measuring a flat Earth for this angle, aren't we?
No, you're measuring an angle to the horizon, and the horizon isn't at horizontal
Didn't say
position.
horizon.
That's why you
Didn't say horizon.
Sorry.
Did he just invent this word that wasn't in the citation? Didn't say that. Didn't say horizon. You're a liar. Did you not hear? Were you deaf? Are you stupid? Did you not comprehend the citation? Do I need to read it again? Shut your mouth, close your mic, put yourself on mute and listen, EMBO. I hate repeating myself for idiots that can't listen. The altitude angle, sometimes referred to as solar elevation angle, describes how high the sun appears in the sky. The angle is measured between an imaginary line between the observer and the sun and the horizontal plane the observer is standing on. That is where we get this measurement. No mention of horizon. The guy's just a scumbag liar who needs to invent stuff that wasn't stated in a citation to describe where he gets his altitude angle, because that's what he said. Now I've defined it. You'll need a flat Earth for it, and we'll try attempt number 2. for you to admit that without inventing things that aren't in the citation like horizon. So what we will need for this altitude angle that you said was required to wrap around your globe, I just need you to concede we will need to measure a flat Earth for that altitude angle as defined. Second attempt.
The horizontal plane doesn't refer to the Earth, it refers to the horizon.
Sorry, it doesn't say horizon, you bullshitting little glurf liar. It doesn't say horizon, it says horizontal plane and makes it specific what plane that is when it says observer is standing on. Now, I'm pretty sure you can't stand on a horizon. Now, this glurf scumbag liar off mute, making little noises in his uncomfortable shiftings in his seat, has invented twice as an obfuscation and lie that there's the word horizon in this definition that specifically details a horizontal plane and makes it clear that he's standing on it. You can't stand on a horizon, son. But you can stand on a horizontal plane we're measuring for this angle, and it's now the third attempt for you to concede that Earth must be measured flat for this angle. The one that you also danced around 6 times saying we didn't get a capability of measuring it. You also told us it was a La La Land imagination plane, even though the citation makes it clear we're standing on it, because you're a glurf scumbag liar deceiving this audience. So in one attempt out of about 25, are you going to have an ounce of humility and admit that which is required for your glurf belief? And in this case, that would be a horizontal plane the observer is standing on, not your obfuscation and glurf lies about a horizon we can't stand on. We'll just need a flat Earth to measure, and I need you to concede that, you pathetic weasel.
Okay, so if I give you a definition, which I just did in the chat, where it defines the altitude angle as an angle above the horizon, and we have 2 conflicting definitions, then how do you determine which one is more correct?
You want to, somebody from the Discord, can you pop it into Master B for me so we can have a little read? Where's it from? Where's the citation from?
From a website, schoolsobservatory.org.
Schoolsobservatory.org.
Hold on, I get it. I'm getting it now.
Right,
There you
and
go.
with respect to a horizon, that's a horizontal line. How does this make any difference to us measuring it, where you say we aren't measuring it and it's taking place in a conceptual place? I'm pretty sure that the horizon does exist in physical reality for us to observe and measure. So we are still measuring it, even though you're offering this red herring definition.
It depends on the type of the horizon, because in the context of astronomy, they don't have to specify it, because they already assume that a person reading this knows that the horizon refers to the astronomical horizon. So the horizontal
The
plane,
astronomical
which is
horizon.
90 degrees from
Hold
the
on.
vertical.
So which type of horizon that we're looking at? How many horizons do we look at?
There is the true horizon. This is the horizon you would see at sea, for example, separating the sky and
Hold on a
the Earth.
second.
There is the
Hold on, just one
astronomical
second.
horizon.
Just 1 second. One at a time. You're going too quickly. You say we can see the true horizon at sea, correct?
Yes.
In your diagram, true horizon is flat. It's level. It's labelled true horizon, and it certainly isn't the surface of the ball. If the true horizon, according to your diagram, is the one that we will see, it kind of tallies with me pointing out that that would be sea level. And you're going to talk about measuring it, like with a sextant. So we're measuring this flat line then from your diagram. It's correlating with the sea level that you denied us being able to measure. I mean, this isn't how we measure a horizon. This isn't a horizon. My original objection of this not being a horizon stands, but just for the audience's benefit, for the humorous effect that this is. He's just said the horizon we see out sea is this one. True horizon. What, this flat one? This one that doesn't bend away from us? Yeah, we know. We must measure Earth flat. You failed to concede it in about 6 attempts. If true horizon's the one we see, and that's with respect to sea level, then that's level, flat, definitely not ball-shaped. We're just dealing with a flat Earth measurement, like in the elevation angle with respect to the horizontal plane the observer is standing on. You've ignored my citation in offering of a new citation. I don't know why. It's almost like you don't want to use the measurement you said we couldn't get, but now want to reference how we do measure the horizon. True horizon, this flat one in your diagram. We're still measuring Earth flat. So I don't see why we need to go any further than this. You've just told us true horizon. Your diagram shows it's flat. Your citation says sea level. Okay? So we're going to measure Earth flat, aren't we?
It isn't conclusive on it being flat, because if we show the diagram in 3 dimensions, this would show that the horizon would be a circle. And if you look at the circle from an angle above, not from the same level as the circle itself, then it would be curved from your perspective. This diagram is 2D and it doesn't represent the third dimension from left to right and right to left, which is the dimension in which you would see the curve of the horizon. So this diagram is simply inconclusive.
Curve of the
Do you know-
horizon.
there is no.
Let's get. Oh.
Sorry, someone wants to hit him with the slope of dope. There is no curve of the horizon. What are you talking about? All planes are parallel with the horizon. If the horizon's curving, you can't be parallel with it. You obviously don't know what a horizon is.
No,
Keep appealing
that's why
to
I
these
asked them.
multiple horizons.
That's why I asked.
Sorry.
That's why I asked them at the beginning to define a horizon. How many horizons do we see now? Can we get back to that?
One.
Not
We
you.
see one horizon, which is the true horizon.
How many? Yeah, but you have 3 horizons. You have visible horizon, true horizon, and astronomical horizon. Do we see all those 3 horizons?
The visible horizon is a horizon, for example, on land where you have some topography, like mountains that would block your true horizon,
That's
assuming that you would
horizon.
have
You
a
don't know what a
perfectly
horizon
level
is.
surface like the sea.
You don't know
But
what a
this doesn't
horizon
apply to
is.
these
Define
situations.
horizon.
That's why I'm not talking about it. The horizon
So,
has, again, multiple definitions.
Shut up,
One of the most...
clown. Clown
You
show.
were just asking me to
Shut
start
up.
speaking.
Got it. What
And
is a
then when I say
define
something
horizon?
that triggers you, you get
Define horizon.
absolutely wild.
Define horizon.
One of the definitions, not the only one, of the horizon is the apparent line that separates the sky from the earth. The other definition of the horizon would be the great circle of the celestial sphere that separates the sky into
That's
two
not
celestial
citation, please.
hemispheres.
Hold on. He's saying it's the point
Okay,
that's.
please.
Sorry. If it's the point that the sky separates. Whoops. There we go. If it's the point that separates the sky from the earth, and you're saying the horizon we see is the true horizon, then in your diagram, the point that would separate the sky from the earth would be the true horizon. Now, even though it's a Muppet Vision orthographic representation, that's still suggesting that the horizon's representative of a flat plane in your own diagrams. So we've still got a flat plane then. True horizon, flat plane. It's on your diagram.
It is possible for the horizon to be contained in a flat plane and be curved at the same time. A circle is a figure that lays on one single flat plane, but its outline is curved, which is basically what happens to the horizon. It lays on a plane that is parallel to your horizontal, but because you're seeing that circle from above, it will appear to you as curved, because this is what happens when you see a circle from above. When you go higher, it becomes less of an ellipse and more of a circle. And when you go completely down, it lays flat, because you look at it from its edge.
So you're saying, in terms of how we deal with the plane of the horizon, we deal with it as a flat plane. But then you apologise after the fact and say that even though we're dealing with Earth flat, measuring Earth flat, and have parallel with the plane of the horizon as a geometric principle, it also curves because reasons. So all the geometric principles that we're dealing with are parallel with the plane of the horizon, but it also curves, says you. No, that defies a geometric principle, defies axioms. No. If it's parallel,
Never
it's
described
parallel.
curve before.
If it's parallel, it can only be parallel. Can't ever be bending. You're defying geometric axioms in favour of your sphere belief. You're utilising these geometric axioms of being parallel with the plane of the Earth because you need to. You must measure Earth flat. That's why you're using these principles, like being parallel with the plane of the horizon. You need it. You need surface level to be flat for your globe belief. Is it sinking in yet?
Again, the word parallel doesn't exclude curve, because parallel can refer to the dimension in which the plane of that figure lays on. But
Sorry,
the outline of
parallel
the figure can be curved.
Doesn't not mean curved. Let me just get you a summary. So parallel is curving, correct?
No, you're misinterpreting my words. I can have two tables which the surfaces of are flat, but the outline is curved, and place one table on the second tape, their surfaces would be parallel, and the outline of them would be curved.
So, like having two pennies, the outside edges are curving. So
Yes,
what?
basically.
Yes, so what? So they're both flat, and we are going to deal with them geometrically flat. So you're saying, like pennies and tables, we can deal with the surfaces of them as flat, and we can have parallels with respect to those surfaces. Yeah, we can on a flat Earth.
On a flat Earth, there is simply no mechanism for why there would
So
be.
why are you telling me
horizon
what a
which
flat
would
Earth
drop
can't
in
do?
specific
We
rate.
can only have parallel with respect to the plane on a flat Earth. Now you're launching into what a flat Earth can't do. Parallel with respect to the plane is something that can only exist on a plane, because it is a plane. That's what we're dealing with. Earth as a plane. Now, launching into what a plane can't do when we're dealing with a plane is idiotic. Don't do that again. So we're dealing with Earth as a plane, and we've got stuff parallel with it, correct?
No, we're now talking about the horizon, not the Earth. Horizon is just a set of points.
Okay, stop. So you're saying no. We haven't got parallel with the surface level. We can't have parallel, and that isn't something that we do. Okay, if that's a no, then you fundamentally deny the premise of Earth curve mathematics. Because in Earth curve mathematics, you've got surface level and eye level parallel with it. Horizontal, not deviating, not bending, parallel. So, okay, conclusion time. You deny the base premise of Earth curve mathematics. It's back to the rock and a hard place, son. It didn't take long to get me back here, did it? So, you deny surface level can be parallel with eye level in a horizontal fashion, because in your mind it can also bend? No. If you don't accept that surface level is parallel with eye level, you don't have any mathematics to base your belief on. So, which is it going to be? Rock or hard place? Do you want to continue to deny that we can have parallel with surface level? That would be to deny your own Earth curve maths. Or do you accept that we can measure with respect to surface level that's parallel with eye level? In which case, I'll welcome you to Flat Earth. Which is it?
Is the surface level the same thing as the surface? I thought we were talking about the
Sorry,
surface.
is the elephant level the same as the elephant? Yeah, the surface level, is it surface? I don't know, maybe I should look up whether surface means surface or not. Surface means surface, shocking, isn't it? So is the surface level surface level? Yes, the surface level is surface level. It is the surface and it is level. Comprende? You didn't answer my question, non sequitur, non-responsive. So do you accept that surface level is parallel with eye level, given that that's your last denial, in which case that's the consequences of you accepting that we can't have parallel with surface level, that's where we're at, is that you don't have that in your Earth curve assertion in Earth curve maths, which has surface level and parallel eye level, which we must measure. Or you say, yeah, we can measure surface level parallel with eye level, in which case I welcome you to Flat Earth. So far your response is surface level the surface? Yes, son. And we've got that out of the way. Which is it, rock or hard place? Deny globe Earth maths or accept Earth's measured flat? Which one?
So I just in the chat posted the image of that surface level, which is seems to come from the MetaBank Earth curve calculator, because I've never seen that word used in this context anywhere else, where it's clear that the surface level isn't the same thing as the surface. So this is the only source.
Sorry,
in which
excuse me.
this
Surface level is what
concept
we'll
is presented in this way.
stop. Sorry, clearly the surface level isn't the same as the surface. No, it's not the same as your curved surface. But we will need to measure surface level. It's part of the measurement. Now, you're seeming to suggest that the surface level, which is flat in this diagram, isn't the surface, because it's not your curved surface. No, let's just get that out of the way and make that abundantly clear to you. That's correct. The surface level we will measure that is parallel with eye level, that is not your globe surface. That's correct. We will need surface level for this maths. That's why it's there, labelled surface level and flat. And it must be there because we're going to derive the bit marked as horizon from a derivation from eye level that's parallel with surface level that we're measuring. So we're clear, we're going to measure surface level, and surface level is labelled as flat in this diagram. It's unequivocally required to be measured and derived from eye level parallel with it. But it is not your globe. It is the surface, not your globe model. Clear?
So what methodology would you use to measure that?
Sorry, your globe Earth what did you say? Methodology utilizes a flat surface level. I just want that acknowledged rather than you asking me what I would do. Your Earth curve maths needs surface level, that's a flat Earth, and eye level parallel with it. It's a fundamental principle of your maths when you hijack perspective. So given that you need surface level, and it is the surface, it is level, and we are measuring it, do you now understand that your assertion of a globe, like I've been telling you this entire time, requires we measure Earth flat? That would be surface level.
According to this diagram, surface level is basically the horizontal, assuming the observer is at zero elevation, and no person does actual observations and measurements at zero elevation, so it seems to be pretty worthless as a concept in real life.
Oh, I see. It's worthless. Ladies and gentlemen, this globe believer says that his mathematics are worthless. Because in real life, we can't measure surface level as level. Ergo, he decided to go with the rock. So you don't believe in Earth curve maths anymore because you don't believe you can measure surface level for the maths. So you're basically throwing your own maths under the bus. You deny that you've got any measurements to base your belief on. Why would you believe in an Earth that has no measurements for it? If you're going to throw them under the bus because you don't believe you can get these measurements of surface level, then you haven't got any maths to believe in anymore, son. It's a dark and cold place on this rock with no measurements for your globe belief. So you don't want the measurements then, because they're flat Earth measurements. You don't want them, we can't get them, you don't believe we can get them. Okay. Well, you haven't got anything to base your globe on then. Oh, well. What stupid belief. Why would you believe in something you can't even measure?
I never said you cannot measure. I said
so we can stop. Oh, you didn't say we can't.
Reference.
So you accept we can measure Earth flat. We would need it to be for surf. Oh, is it chanting rumpusing time? You didn't deny that we can get the measurements. Maybe if you chant through me pointing out that they're flat Earth measurements, you won't have to admit that you need them. You weren't denying them. Well, maybe you could admit them. So you admit and understand that Earth is measured flat for surface level, and it must be flat for surface level because eye level. That is eyeballs, by the way. It is us looking. It's not in this diagram. You know, we're not looking at anything. We're in an orthographic view. But in terms of what we will actually physically do in reality is measure surface level and the differential from eye level that's parallel with it. So do you want to throw your maths under the bus? That's where you are currently. You've chosen door number 1. Would you prefer to go with door number 2 that does have measurements for your reification of a globe? And then I'll welcome you to flat Earth because we'll be measuring surface level. Which is it? Still happy with the rock, right?
No, sticking to this diagram, regardless of the shape of the Earth.
So, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't matter, Earth, not a sphere, doesn't matter about improving a sphere Earth with it. He's relying on his rock. He doesn't have any measurements, regardless of Earth's shape. He hasn't got any measurements for it, and we're not going to extrapolate any shape measurements from Earth curve maths, regardless of Earth's shape, then. So you are throwing them under the bus.
You can perform measurements using the eye level as the reference, not the surface level. Because the surface level would be your reference only if you measure with eyes half submerged under the water.
Are we measuring those
elevation above the ground?
Above surface level?
You take your theodolite, level it, for example, using like spirit level, which uses
right. You just went on about the elevation, the height of eye, and now you're on to Yarl and obfuscation. We're going to measure the height of the eye above surface level, right? Above sea level, right? We're going to measure this height of eye above a horizontal plane of reference called surface level, right? Height of eye, it's an elevation. It's off the ground. It's an elevation measurement. You've obfuscated me. Just need you to say, yes, Nathan, we'll get our height of the eye above a flat earth that we'll measure. Do you want to just try that on for size, son? I know it's painful.
No.
So you deny that we get height of eye above sea level? You deny that we've got any measurements for your globe, then? So you're sticking with your rock. This gentleman's got a belief in a globe, but doesn't have any measurements for it because he can't even give his height of eye above sea level. Like it would be measured if he did have measurements. He doesn't have any measurements for his globe belief, ladies and gentlemen. He'd fundamentally deny that he can even measure the height of eye above a flat earth. That's sea level. Like we would be measuring it if he did have measurements that he hasn't. So you don't, why'd you believe in a globe? You haven't got any measurements for it. You wouldn't even accept height of eye measurement above sea level. Why would you deny all measurements? Why have you got this belief? It's stupid. If you've got no measurements, why'd you believe in it?
Because I've seen the measurements and they simply don't work in the way you're
No, I'm not making anything. This is your claim. You're telling me how my measurements don't work. Do you need to flail and straw man? I haven't presented any. These are all your rumpus me bitch. These are all your measurements. I'm not making any claims. I'm pointing out in your claimed measurement that you simultaneously want to deny because we can't get surface level and eye level. I asked if we can take that measurement off sea level and you said no. Okay, well, you've got no measurements then. How are you going to claim a globe? Now you've said I've seen how these measurements work. Okay, so you saw how height of eye above a flat earth was measured, right? Cat got your tongue?
Probably with some altimeter, for example.
To give you height above sea level?
Yes.
So you'll need a flat earth then for this measurement.
No, I don't.
So you don't.
I don't.
Sorry.
Are
we going? Sorry, I got to stop you there. Are we going back to the 45 minutes ago where you start denying that surface level, no part higher or lower than the other, that it maybe is a shape? Are we back in the? Have we backtracked? He's regressed, ladies and gentlemen. I thought we got you out of that groove where we start describing the aspect that we'll measure as not being a shape that I don't want to talk about. I don't think we need to do this again, do we, son? We're going to be measuring our height above surface level, sea level, a flat earth. Now you've conceded it. Do you want to deny that that's an aspect of the ground that isn't shaped, that's flat, no part higher or lower than the other, level, like in your citation? Do we need to go round in this groove again, mate? If so, I'm going to end the conversation now. Or we can accept that we do get our height above sea level to start this process off, like you said. And if you can concede that we will be getting this measurement of a flat earth with respect to elevation above the sea level, we can welcome you to flat earth. Again, that would be the hard place that you don't like going to. You'd prefer to describe we can get these measurements.
No, I just simply don't like agreeing to hide and begging the question assumptions. I agree with the existence of sea level, but the sea level being flat doesn't follow just from its definition, so you have to add additional hidden assumption that you haven't proven, you just assume it to be true.
It's not an assumption, it's a description. Level means level. I'm not assuming level means flat. Level is level. It doesn't mean that it's got a curve, which is what you constantly reasserted when you tried to ascribe a shape to it that it would have to be in reference to. Level just means level, and we're referencing our height with respect to that level. Okay? That's flat earth. So are you denying it? Because you're telling me that to say the word level means I employ a reification fallacy? This isn't my claim. I've got your diagram from your globe earth reification on screen, and it says surface level on it. Yeah, that's where we'll get our height from. Surface level, sea level. It's also in your wiki diagram that specifically mentions it as sea level, and we're going to be measuring with respect to that. So, do you still deny that we can measure Earth flat for our elevation of I? In which case, if you deny it, you don't have a globe measurement to base your stupid religion on. Or do you accept that we can measure our height of eye with respect to sea level? In which case, welcome to flat Earth. We're measuring Earth flat for height of eye.
Again, the definition of level doesn't imply any shape of the level surface. In this case, it could be flat because it means equal height above something. In this case, it would be height above that horizontal plane. But I can also show diagrams showing level on the globe represented as a curved surface around the globe.
I see.
Simply because
that's fascinating. I don't need your apologetics. I don't need interruption from G+ either. I don't need your apologetics for what you can do in your diagrams. We're measuring from surface level, aren't we?
No, because surface level...
Oh, sorry, so your diagram's bunk. Back to this, back to the rock. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, no, we're not measuring from surface level, even though it's absolutely fundamentally required in his globe Earth maths. Okay? Well, if we can't measure from surface level, then this maths is bunk. You've got no measurement to base your globe Earth maths on. Okay? If you can't measure it, then you're not basing this on anything. There's no measurement for your globe then. Okay? Bye-bye globe. Bye-bye globe measurements. Why are you... Back to this question. Don't need to chant through me. 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 Why would you believe, this is a question, in the globe if you don't think you can get any measurements of surface level as is required in the maths?
I have these measurements. I can show them to you.
Oh, so we can get flat Earth measurements from surface level then?
No. If the Earth is flat, is the thing you would need to test, to extrapolate from the measurements, not to assume it before the measurement.
Measurements of what? Measurements of what? Measurements of what? Measurements of what? The horizontal plane the observer is standing on?
You can have different methodologies. For example, you can measure...
Would it be the horizontal plane the observer is standing on as one of those measurements? We defined it earlier. Would that be one of the measurements? Because you're either denying that we can use these measurements of a horizontal plane the observer is standing on, or we can't. If we can't, you've got no globe. If we can, we're measuring a flat Earth. Which is it? Can we measure with respect to the horizontal plane and surface level? Because you need to. It's right there on screen. In your claim...
The horizontal plane in this case would be the eye level, not the surface level, because the eye level in this diagram accounts for the height of the observer, and the height of the observer is never zero.
Sorry, the height of the... Hold on. It represents the height of the observer above what now?
Sea level. Means...
So we're gonna need a flat Earth and sea level to have our height measurement with respect to. So you will need to measure a flat Earth for height above sea level then.
No, because sea level...
So he's got no model, he's got no claim, he has no measurement, he can't even get his height of eye like is shown in this diagram. It's shown surface level, eye level, parallel with it. You need surface level to describe the measurement of eye level. Now he's denying it, he's back on his rock. So you don't have any measurements for your globe then? You can't get your height of eye in a measurement form for your globe claim then, so you've got no globe claim. How's the rock? Should we go back to the hard place where you can get a measurement of a flat Earth? It's up to you, I'd do this all day. Smash the super chat if you want to support this channel. 124 people watching. Absolutely fantastic show. I'm really enjoying myself. It'd be great if this show got me out of my overdraft. Please hit the PayPal link if you'd love listening to this glurf squirm. 1 minute he can measure a flat Earth for him to make his globe claim with. Next minute we can't measure a flat Earth, so he hasn't got any globe claim at all. Fun, fun, fun. Smash that super chat. Hit the PayPal link. I'll do this all day, mate. Have we got a measurement for your globe? A flat Earth measurement for the height of eye above surface level, sea level? You defined it and then denied it immediately. What's going on? Can't you make up your mind? Can we make this measurement of a flat Earth or not? Cat got your tongue? Don't know where to go. Which one's difficult? I don't know. Rock seems really cold. Hard place seems really desolate. Which one to pick?
I was just getting tired of speaking about only one model, so I give link to another article giving the usage of the word level, where it defines the level surface as the continuous surface parallel to the mesospheroid of the Earth.
Oh, right. Well, that stop.
Definition of
Stop. I gotcha. Yeah, you're saying level runs parallel. Not in this diagram from Metabunk. Level's running parallel with eye level. So if level's also comporting with the surface of the sphere, you have no mathematics to describe the curve deviating from the surface level with. Level can't comport to a sphere. Your definition's bunk. If it did, this maths fails. You can't have surface level bend. Surface level isn't bent in this diagram from Metabunk. You need to measure surface level. Otherwise, you can't describe this horizon, in quotes, below surface level. How can you have it described as deviating from the horizontal if horizontal's already bending as per your citation and definition of it? It isn't. Surface level is having no part higher or lower than another. A bend would imply that you've got lower parts. So, yeah, your citation's wrong.
Because the word lower doesn't imply
because it would debunk Metabunk. Are you deaf?
Something.
No, not because the word. No, because Metabunk would be wrong. Did you not listen? Do I need to slow down and say it again? Do I need to slow down and say it again for you? Metabunk has got surface level flat. No, he's now talking through me. You immediately address the words as opposed to what Metabunk's doing with surface level. That gives you parallel eye level for height of eye above the surface level. That's what the maths functions as. Furthermore, without surface level being having no part higher or lower than the other, as per every other definition of level, it wouldn't be able to describe the curve of the diagrammatical spherical bit because you wouldn't have a horizontal line to have it deviating from. You can only describe the variation from the horizontal if horizontal remains level as opposed to curving in your definition. If it does, as per your definition, curve, that's level, curves, then surface level in this diagram isn't surface level anymore and the maths fails.
This
your citation's wrong.
It only supports it.
No,
Because
surface level is level in this Metabunk maths. It doesn't support it. Don't make baseless assertions that ignore what I've just said. Okay, so Mick West's Metabunk calculations and
I'm trying to explain why it isn't basis, but you don't let me finish. It will be always basis if you don't let me to support it.
Sorry, you can't support it. You're saying level moves around a sphere. No, it doesn't in Metabunk maths.
Because the word level is independent of the shape of the reference to which you measure the height to. It can be...
Level has nothing to do with the shape! We did that 7 times! Level's got nothing to do with referencing a shape. He needs it to be described as having a reference to a shape when it needs to be. So level can be having no part higher or lower than another when we're referencing and measuring our height above sea level, but then it simultaneously needs to be equivocated with a shape. No, level isn't a shape. Now, for you, it must be re-identified as a shape after you've utilised measurements of Earth flat. So you like level being level when you're measuring your height of eye above surface level, as is needed in the maths, but you also need surface level to be curving when you're measuring it flat. Yet we know that you can go to Merriam-Webster who says it's comporting to the outside edge of a sphere, but that violates a geometric axiom that wouldn't allow you to describe a curve because you've got nothing to describe it with respect to. You need horizontal to be an axiom. It's level, having no part higher or lower than another, and you will measure your height of eye to start this process from surface level, not from surface curve, not from sea curve. You're measuring from sea level, not sea curve.
Yeah, if you want to measure the curvature of level, then you
don't measure the curvature of level. Man, this guy's an idiot. I'm done talking to him. Don't start a sentence with how you measure the curvature of level. That's an idiotic statement. Shut up. I'm done with you if you're going to tell me how I measure the curvature of level. That's an idiot statement. We don't measure the curvature of level. Meanwhile, we do measure our height of eye above surface level. That's to say we measure the height of the eye above sea level, and that is requiring a flat surface level to measure. Either you accept that you will measure your height above surface level, or you deny your maths. We've done it about 15 times now.
Level, it isn't just a basis concept, it's a reference to actually something physical, which is the sea. So if we simply directly measure the sea without any word games, and it turns out that the measurement points over distance are curved, then automatically level is curved, and this is actually possible and was done already.
Okay, fine, I'll go with it. How would you describe how curved it was?
In reference to the horizontal at 8
Oh,
inches
so
per-
you'd need to have a horizontal then? Like a level that isn't bent? So in order to describe how curved it is, well, obviously I'm going to have the geometric axiom of horizontal to describe it from. No, mate, you haven't got that anymore. That horizontal's moving around the centre of a sphere according to your citation. So how can you possibly describe it deviating from a horizontal if horizontals bend?
No, you're conflating terms. Horizontal wouldn't be bent, level would be. Then you would make a distinction between these two terms.
Yeah, level and horizontal, having no part higher or lower than the other, that's horizontal.
Yeah, and as I already said...
Yeah, and it must be because it's a geometric axiom. It's a principle that must be used to describe curvature with. You're trying to bastardize that geometric principle into both being level, having no part higher or lower than another, and moving around a center point. It can't. That violates the law of identity.
If you wanted to, you could create a flower-shaped coordinate system and declare that the surface of that flower is the zero in your coordinate system and measure height in relation to that flower.
Oh, nice. You can
Because
also do that with a
level
globe, but you'd first need a horizontal plane of reference to be measuring from and with respect to start that process off. And that's exactly what we do. Now, further to that, we've put a nice bit of distance between the fact that we are measuring a horizontal plane the observer is standing on for latitude that was wrapped around your globe. Now, when we got to the fact that you will be measuring a horizontal plane that the observer is standing on, we segued onto height of eye. Also, with respect to sea level, that's surface level, because we're measuring the plane, the horizontal plane the observer is standing on, for an altitude angle that you also detailed. None of this have been met with a concession that is indeed, as described, the horizontal plane that the observer is standing on and will be measured for height of eye, or altitude angle, or anything else for that matter. Earth must be measured flat for all of these processes. Shout out to Jomo. Says my roasting grill is still on medium with this guy. Turn up the heat, Nathan. Nah, I'll do this all day. I'm in quite a good temperament. So if he wants to carry on dancing between the rock of I haven't got any measurements because surface level isn't level and I can't measure from surface level, it deviates around, moving around a sphere and can't have anything reference to level because nothing's level anymore. Everything's curving, so we haven't got a geometric axiom to describe anything with. Therefore, no measurements, therefore no globe model, therefore no principles to make the globe model with. That's his rock. Alternatively, accept the hard place of, oh yeah, I can get measurements of a horizontal plane of reference, like surface level or sea level. And once I measure them, I'll be welcome to flat Earth. So it's either deny the globe and its measurements or be welcome to flat Earth with the measurements that are flat. That's it. Those are his choices. I'll do it all day.
It is absolutely false that I have no physical reference for these terms. There are
So we can't measure Earth, ladies and gentlemen, for his globe belief. This globe believer says there's no physical reference. There's no measurement for a globe. He's denying his globe. He's chosen the rock. No physical reference. Okay, well, if you've got no physical reference, then you've got no globe to believe in then, have you? If you can't measure it, you can't reference it, you've got no claim. Don't yammer through me. You say no reference, I say no globe then. So you haven't got any reference points for your globe. No starting point, no measurements.
But you heard it incorrectly. I said that I have a reference. For example, I can define the horizontal in relation to the vertical as 90 degrees to it.
Welcome to Flat Earth. If you're going to describe and measure the reference that is horizontal, then you'll need one to measure. If you can't get it, which is on a globe, there are no horizontals on a globe. You'll need a flat Earth for that. Welcome to Flat Earth. There are no horizontals on a globe. You will require a flat Earth for that.
There is a vector of acceleration, and this is...
So what's acceleration now got to do with anything? He's just said, I can get a measurement because I can get horizontal. Not from a globe, you cannot. Do you want to concede that, first of all? Do you think you've got horizontals? He's going to chant through me. Bitch. What a bitch. You haven't got any horizontals on a globe. Fundamentally, that denies the principle of a spherical surface. There are no horizontals for you, sir. You will need a flat Earth for that which you said you could measure. Oh, I can get horizontal. Yeah, you'll need a flat Earth for it.
There are horizontals that aren't following the surface of the globe. They would only be touching them at one point.
We haven't got a horizontal from a globe.
But
you haven't got a globe. To get the horizontal,
no,
he's going to yammer through me, bitch. What a bitch. No, you're not referencing a globe. You first need your horizontal before you start begging the question of your globe. You said you could get a measurement and it was horizontal. Not from a globe, you won't. So where will you get the horizontal from?
From, for example, a spirit level, which references a physical acceleration due to gravity.
Spirit levels don't measure acceleration. They're measuring flatness. So you think you're going to get a measurement of a globe from a spirit level? So you're telling me your origin measurement for a globe comes from a spirit level, correct?
Yeah,
Stutter for me. Welcome to Flat Earth. This man has just told my audience that his origin measurements for his globe are a spirit level. Measuring level with that much? It's got level in the name.
No. This is how you establish the baseline for the measurements. This is not the measurements
do
yet.
spirit, just so we're clear. Just so we're clear. You seemed to assert earlier that level wasn't the same as horizontal. Do spirit levels measure the curve with respect to a center point of Earth? Is that what spirit levels measure?
Yeah, over distance they would trace a curve, exactly.
Right, no, spirit levels do not measure curvature.
How do you know that?
Clues in the title, you dumbo.
I mean, you've never checked...
Sorry, if you're out there and you work in the trades and you have got in your tool bag a spirit level and you want to believe you're on a globe, then eventually you will be in the position that this numpty globe-believing dipshit is in, where he tells you, a workman, that yes, your spirit level is used to measure curvature. No, it's not. It's used to measure the horizontal. How level, how having no part higher or lower than the other, how being parallel with the plane of the horizon the item you are measuring is. In your mind, because of your equivocation, you believe that having no part higher or lower than the other is simultaneously having the same height with respect to a center point on a sphere. No, it isn't. We covered that, you didn't like it.
How it isn't if you just agreed that level is independent of the shape. Then
Got
why...
nothing to do with shape. Level isn't anything to do with shape. It's about that's the 9th time he's tried to use that. I keep telling you why you're using it. You're telling me level has something to do with shape, at best an aspect. Because in your mind, level is globe. It isn't a shape. Level's not a shape. You keep dragging this in when I say it's not a shape. Oh, you don't want to talk about the aspect of level and its shapeliness. It's got nothing to do with it. It's an aspect of Earth will measure how level it is, like sea level, surface level, eye level. Those things are level. They're not globe-shaped. They need to be for you in your religion. They're just not. Meanwhile, we are measuring Earth with respect to how level it is. For eye level, surface level, sea level, those are all measurements. You can deny them. I just say, okay, well, choose the rock. Got no measurements for your globe then. And when you go to the hard place and say, oh yeah, the horizontal plane of reference I can use, that'll be a flat Earth welcome moment because you're using a flat Earth to reference because you need to. Like I say, I'll do this all day. Smash the super chat to support this channel. Hit me up on PayPal. Help me out with my terrible overdraft. Go ahead, One Deck.
So are there any surveying measurements yet that actually prove the sea level is flat, for example? Instead of just declaring it based on a misinterpreted definition?
Sea level is level. Sea level is flat. Having no part higher or lower than the other and getting the average is sea level.
then level does imply a shape.
No. Having no part. Oh my god. Just server mute this asshole. I'm not gonna. That's 10. That's 10. I'm done. You're done. That was your last chance. I've said it 10 times. I'll say it 10th, then I'm gonna have you removed. No. An aspect of flatness. Level. Surface level. These are not shapes. They need to be shapes for you. So that when we measure Earth flat, you can delude yourself that you've measured a shape. No! How high you are above the surface level isn't a shape. It's how high you are above a horizontal plane of reference. Shapeless. Go on, John.
But if you...
Oh, shut up.
If you get...
Shut up! Shut up! You've done it. I don't think you get it, dickhead.
Are you
You've
mad?
done it. Shut up.
Any problem?
Shut up. You've done it 10 times where you're trying to associate the aspect of flatness or surface level, eye level, sea level with a shape. Now, after I've done it 10 times, I start losing my temper with you, and it suddenly seems to the audience like I'm the unreasonable one. When I start resisting the urge to rip you a new asshole and swear at you, I don't want to do that. So I don't want to talk to you anymore. No, it's unreasonable that I should have to tolerate 10 repetitions that an aspect, surface level, eye level, is somehow associated with shape. It is for you, you glurf moron. In reality, no. Level's just level. A horizontal plane we reference for height in a form of a measurement. Not shape. Now I'm done. You're just annoying. Go away and believe that aspects and levels are shapes. I'm done with doing it with you. You're too dumb to comprehend the flaw in your logic. I'm not going to point out that flaw 11 times. Bugger off. Don't want to hear another word from you. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I was going to say that he was asking you to measure level, but level is the measurement. The thing is, he's either separating the reference from the geometric understanding, or he's separating the geometric understanding from what we experience. It's constantly happening. A measurement has a reference, which is the surface of Earth, the plane that we stand on. The geometric concept that we use is horizontal, and it's tied together in a measurement of level. Why is that so hard to understand?
Because level in his mind's a shape. Therefore, it's got to be a curved Earth surface, and if I point out that the measurement requires it is taken as read in the geometric axiom you're describing to be measuring, it can't be a shape, it can't be curving away, it isn't.
It doesn't comport with a ball. That's why they can't comprehend it, John. That's why they can't understand it.
In my Nathan, in my list of words not to use, you're not allowed to use. I've got 19 of them. He's used every one, I think, to explain a globe.
Go and list them again, just for the new people. There's 138 people watching. Wow.
Words not allowed to be used when explaining how Earth is measured curved. Sea level, horizon, horizontal, parallel, plumb, perpendicular, elevation, angles, 90 triangles, sea sextant, theodolite, water level, altitude, vertical, tangent, straight, line, plane, flat. Can't use them words. Nothing to do with curvature.
Yeah, they need every one of them, though, don't they? They will utilize all of them.
Yes, and I thought, Nathan, I thought it would click when you broke it down that it's not comporting to his ball. That's why he needs it to be a shape. Because when you talk about level, it can't be level. How's it going to be level on a ball? That's where the penny should drop. But with these people, it doesn't.
No, in their mind, level is a ball. No, it isn't. Level is level. It's an axiom that must be adhered to for you to start the process of believing that you're on a spinning water ball. You're not. You're measuring Earth flat and extrapolating out your belief into a sphere shape based on those flat Earth measurements that you want to fundamentally deny until we do this, right? Spend a good solid hour with the globe proponent either relinquishing any measurements that he can take the moment they're pointed out that they're flat. Alternatively, deny the geometric axiom of the principle of level and say it's curving, therefore undermining and violating every principle used in the assertion based on flat Earth measurements of a globe. So either accept Earth's measured flat, because it is, and that's how your origin of a globe begins, or deny that you've got any measurements. That's what we've seen today. Round and round and round we go. I don't mind.
Yeah, you do.
Not at all. I do till we get to 10.
Yeah, that was your limit, because you said you could do this all day, and then you said, "Oh, that's it."
Well, it's at the point that I get annoyed, and I've generally put an arbitrary number of about 10 on it. By the time we get to number 10, I feel annoyed, and I don't see, as the host of the show, why I should be. Why should I get annoyed with the guy rinsing and repeating the same violation of the law of non-contradiction and the law of identity 10 times? Why?
Well, then don't say I can do this all day. When you apparently you can't.
Okay, smart ass.
Don't worry, EMBO will be right back in chat, skanks, in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail with the same idiot garbage. What a clown.
Because he's a troll.
No, he's in pain. I don't say that's trolling. That's someone in deep cognitive dissonance. I can't accept the measurement because it's flat. Well, if I deny that flat is flat, that'll help me. Other than it relinquishes my model. Well, I'll relinquish my model until someone points out I'm relinquishing my model. Then I'll use the flat Earth measurements till someone points out they're flat. Then I'll deny the measurements till I get pointed out that I've relinquished my globe. Then I'll accept the measurements. Then I'll say the measurements aren't flat. And so we go round.
So now that we toasted his geometric acumen, can we get into a science acumen now?
You can do.
Because, yes, EMBO. So this is how we learn physics the hard way. Newton's third law, action and reaction. Do you think Newton's debunked third law is physics? Hello, McFly.
I think he's trying to respond,
Chat,
actually. Go ahead.
Chat skanks. Hello.
Hold on. Every time he's trying to answer, you're starting to talk and we can't hear him. Try one more time, EMBO.
Oh, I just didn't hear what was Kiwi's point, so you can start from the beginning.
Okay, he asked if the third law...
Was he trying to...
He asked if you thought Newton's third law was physics.
Yes, absolutely.
Really? Who's the hypothesis for Newton's third law?
I do know that when you act with a force on an object X, then the object X will act with the force of equal magnitude on you, but with the opposite direction.
Not the hypothesis, glue sniffer.
Hypothesis is a statement that undergoes verification.
Goodness gracious. What is a scientific hypothesis?
Isn't that what the hypothesis is? Like, for example, I hypothesize, you can say, I hypothesize that, let's say the sky is green. Then I can go outside, verify if the sky is green. It isn't. I verified the hypothesis false.
That's not a hypothesis. The sky is green is not a scientific hypothesis. You would fail intro to 5th grade general science.
Hypothesis is a statement that makes testable predictions about the physical world so we can test it. If the evidence supports it or if it falsifies it.
Really?
This statement makes testable predictions, in fact, very, very specific ones. You can act at a wall with a force, push it, and
glue sniffer,
and see if you feel the wall pushing at you. Then you basically confirm the hypothesis. This collected evidence for it.
Citation, glue sniffer.
While he's looking for that citation, shout out to Jardo, who gifted 5 memberships. As just one
If
sec.
the sky green was his example of a hypothesis, you would fail intro to 5th grade general science.
A very warm welcome to all of you who've joined us. There's hovering around the 140 odd people watching right now. So good to have you. If you've not joined us before, please share the show. Very warm welcome. Good to have you all here. Also, I'm
Thanks.
really poor. Good opportunity for me to e-beg. It's probably going to get rumpus, but we'll see how we get on. So hit me up on PayPal. Hopefully I'll be utilising that cash to actually do a little tete-a-tete in person with a few people down south. But I could actually do with the money to actually afford to go down there. So if you'd like to support the endeavour, hit me up on PayPal. There's a link in the info box below this video. Don't normally overtly e-beg this badly, but given there's quite a few people here, might as well.
Meanwhile,
I
back at
posted
the
just
ranch.
screenshots of.
Meanwhile, back at the
Yeah, I
ranch,
posted.
is the sky green? Shut him up. Is the sky green is not a scientific hypothesis, glue sniffer?
Why?
Why? I'll tell you why.
Yes,
Because
why?
a scientific. Are you interrupting me? Why?
Maybe I have some kind
What
of
is
delay
a
because every
scientific-
time I start speaking, I already think you stopped.
Look up! You retard! Why? What is a scientific hypothesis with citation, please? I'll show you why then.
He's asking you for a citation of what a hypothesis is. Scientific prediction.
It's not a shape.
Well done. For the audience's benefit, whatever he's called, EMBO is being asked for a citation for a hypothesis, given that he's offered one in the form of the sky colour.
If you want to specify it with it being a scientific hypothesis, this is a definition. A scientific hypothesis is a testable, clear statement about what you think will happen in a science experiment. This is based on your observations and prior knowledge. Scientific hypothesis should be written before an experiment takes place so that you can determine if your experiment supports or refutes your hypothesis. A well-written hypothesis can be easily supported or refuted based on the results of an experiment. Period.
Ambiguous. What are the two constituent parts of a scientific experiment or hypothesis? Sorry.
A prediction.
No.
This is the one.
He asked you what the two
No.
parts are.
You make some educated guess, an assumption about the natural world, then you derive the prediction from that you want to test. Any
Incorrect.
hypothesis needs to have a prediction that can be tested.
Incorrect. That's incorrect. It has a prediction, but you don't know what assumption means. So let me ask you again. What are the two constituent parts of a scientific hypothesis? Second time.
The premise, I guess you could call that a premise, the thing that you
You would
assume,
fail
like the sky is
intro
green
to
in this
5th
case,
grade general
and then
science.
based on
Stop.
that,
Stop.
You would
based
fail.
on that,
Stop. The reason you're getting interrupted, EMBA, is because you're wrong.
then why can't you tell me wrong after I finish my sentence?
Because we already know you're wrong.
Third
What if you're
time,
wrong?
you could train
You
wreck
don't know
yourself.
it.
Third time, you can train wreck yourself again.
Mhm.
Give me
I mean,
He is going to talk right through
He's
me.
doing
isn't
it deliberately. He's a prick. You're a prick, EMBO. You just opened your waffle hole while Q was talking. Last time you alleged
Wait,
there was a delay.
wait.
I didn't call you a liar last time. But now I'm going to call you a prick. There's no need for that.
Hold on a second, guys. He said there's a delay between you two guys.
Yeah, I've heard it all
So, let's
before.
just give him
Yeah, I've
the
heard it all
benefit of the doubt.
before. Yeah, I've heard it all before. Yeah, there wasn't a delay when QE's 5 seconds into a sentence. No, that's prick behaviour. Carry on, QE.
For the third time, listen to my question closely. Give me the two constituent parts of a scientific experiment. I'm sorry. Jesus, he's got me on experiment. Give me, I stand corrected. Give me the two constituent parts of a scientific hypothesis. Just two. Thank you.
So is it supposed to be an experiment or hypothesis? Because these are
Hypothesis.
fundamentally different things.
Hypothesis.
Hypothesis. Again, a premise, the thing that you assume to be true, to then test its consequences
Incorrect.
if they hold in reality. And the prediction derived from that premise. In this case, the premise
Incorrect.
would be that the
Just
sky is
wrong. You're
green.
doing it again.
From
EMBO.
that, I
Stop.
derive.
Stop.
Can I finish?
No, because you're bloody wrong. Stop. What do you think you can bleat on about how you're not getting a chance to waffle your complete incorrect garbage again? You're just wrong. You don't know what this stuff is. Yeah, you're a pretender clown. Pretending to know what it means. You don't. You got it wrong.
Can you explain what it is based on
You
sources?
should know. Is the sky green,
I
you
gave
say?
a source.
Well, is that a hypothesis?
Yes.
No, it isn't. You
The
don't know what
sky
a
is green
hypothesis...
is a
Stop!
hypothesis.
Stop! What do you think this is, dickhead? You're the dumb one who's got it wrong. You think you can keep waffling through me? You're gonna piss me off right quick. Shut your dumb mouth. You don't know what you're talking about. You're a bleeding pretender clown. Now, for anybody else in any other environment, they'd realise how much they'd messed up and sit down and keep their bleeding stupid mouth shut. You think you can waffle through us correcting you. No, you didn't get it right, Dumbo. You don't know what science is. You're offering up nonsensical hypotheses. Because you don't know what one is. That's the simple long and short of this. You're a pretender.
I've rather understood that according to it, I'm wrong. Then can you explain what do you think science actually is according to you? Instead of just declaring
Not science.
my position is
Not
incorrect.
science. Not science, glue sniffer. We asked you what a scientific hypothesis was. You got some Adderall close?
Yeah, I say horizontal plane the observer is standing on. He hears horizon. You say... Oh, almost gave away the game there. You say scientific prediction, aka hypothesis, please. He hears science.
No, there's no need to go on. You're exposed.
Hypothesis isn't a scientific prediction. It contains a prediction from which you can verify its
Done it again.
its validity.
Saying it's not a prediction, it contains a prediction. What kind of nonsense doublespeak is that?
A room isn't me but contains me. Is that analogy enough simple for your brain to comprehend?
What does it predict?
Dumbass slacker.
What's it predicting?
Anything that you can logically derive from the hypothesis, any effects of it being correct or incorrect you would see in reality.
The effects. What about the effects?
Yeah.
What about them?
No, you test if you observe them in reality.
Yeah, what about them? What about them?
No, if they are consistent with the predictions of the hypothesis, then you have evidence that it is more likely to be correct. If
Corrected.
it isn't, then you have proof that it isn't. You falsified it.
Falsify
basically.
what? The effect.
The hypothesis.
And that's doing what with respect to the effect?
The hypothesis implies the effect, so if you falsify the effect, you automatically falsify the hypothesis. Like let's say the Earth
What
being spherical
about the
implies there
effect?
being a
You're
curvature.
not listening. Predicts the effect. So if I say I predict that the sun will rise tomorrow, that's a hypothesis, is it? No. You don't
Yes.
seem to stop talking through the middle of me, you belligerent little child. That's not a hypothesis. Oh, the sun's going to rise tomorrow. Oh, we'll call that man a scientist. That's what you've said. It predicts the observation, the effect. No, that's not what a hypothesis does. You don't understand what a hypothesis is.
Can you explain
try
what
again.
it is, according to you?
What about the effect? What does the hypothesis tell us in respect to the effect?
tells us what you would expect to happen if the hypothesis is correct.
No! Did you not hear me the last time? So if I say, oh, the sun will rise tomorrow, that's a hypothesis, is it? No! You don't know what a hypothesis is. Can you just say,
prediction for
stop talking through me, you belligerent prick? No, what I'm seeking now is you to concede you don't know what this is. Yeah, I take what you say it is and say, oh, well, if I say the sun rises tomorrow, I've got a hypothesis on my hands. No. Now, obviously, I'm not going to tell you what it is so you can suddenly say, well, I knew that all along, and neither is QE not telling you. So it's really obvious that you don't know what you're talking about. And until we tell you what it is, you'll keep getting it wrong. Yeah, we know. There will come a point where you either concede that you haven't got a clue what this stuff means, which is glaringly obvious to everyone around you. You just missed the humility, obviously. That's sarcasm. You don't know what it means. You don't know what a hypothesis is. That's obvious now. But you still want to babble through me about what it is? Just accept you don't know what it is.
Okay, so what are you expecting?
Don't ask me something, you
right now?
bloody belligerent child.
Okay.
Except you don't stop talking.
To me what
stop
it
talking.
Actually is. You
Stop
don't want me to explain my position either. So what do you want
talking.
to do?
No. You're not going to
Why?
regain the control of this conversation, like the last guy yesterday in defeat. You need to accept that you don't understand what a hypothesis is. You failed 6 times to explain it. Now grow a pair of balls.
This was a basis.
Is he yammering through me?
But this was
what
a
bitch!
From your
What
side.
a total bitch! What a pathetic bitch! Now it's yammering through me and rumpusing non-stop. So I've got to appeal to the moderators. Is it? No. You don't know what a hypothesis is, and before we go on and explain it to you, dumbass, you're going to concede that, having had 7 attempts to try and explain what it does in relation to the effect. You didn't do that. Describes the effect that will happen within the hypothesis, end quote, you. Wrong, Dumbo. Now that you've been wrong multiple times, grow a pair of balls. Be a man. You're going to be a man and say you don't know?
I know it may be hard for you to comprehend, but a rational
what a
person...
bitch. Get out. Get this bitch out of him. Oh, you're going to ad hom me about what it's hard for me to comprehend, are you, little bitch? How dare you ad hom me? You don't know what a hypothesis is, and you're going to tell me it's hard for me to comprehend. So in defeat, like a squealing pig, you're going to ad hom me.
No, he didn't. He said he's Russian, and it's difficult for him to understand.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't understand.
I didn't say that.
He ad-hommed me.
I only said that a rational person acknowledges his wrong only after the evidence he's presented, not after the opponent simply declares.
Yeah, I don't want to focus on this freaking ad hom. You don't know what a hypothesis is. Grow a pair of balls and admit it.
Basis assertion, though.
Based on the fact that I've asked him to identify what the hypothesis would do with relationship to the effect, and he said it would describe the effect in the hypothesis. That's incorrect. That's not a baseless assertion. Again, like the guy who was squealing like a pig in defeat last time, throws out that I've used a fallacy, in this case, baseless assertion. It's not baseless. It's based on the 6 attempts and failures by you. Now,
and
when are you going to become a man, grow a pair of bleeding balls, and accept that you don't know what a hypothesis is? You failed 6 times. You're going to tell me that that's my baseless assertion now?
And
But
4 times... 6 times with that, and 4 times we asked you what the constituent parts of a scientific hypothesis were, and you couldn't tell us.
Yeah, so you're going to grow a pair of balls or what? Pathetic little man.
I already told that 6 times, and he said that it was 6 fails, but he didn't substantiate that anyway.
This isn't him detailing a hypothesis. That was non-responsive, non sequitur. So he hasn't detailed what a hypothesis is, and he hasn't conceded that he doesn't know what one is. Non-responsive.
Yep. Hey, sky is green, moron. Last time, what are the 2 constituent parts of a scientific hypothesis?
Again, the premise and testable prediction, falsifiable prediction. If something
Again.
is true, then you would expect something to happen, and then you test for that thing happening.
Again, wrong, incorrect. You'd fail 5th grade intro to general science. That's for the 4th time. Thanks. Have a nice day.
No, he didn't grow a pair.
It's an
Pathetic.
X.
No, now he's going to talk
It's an
through me in his
if
defeat.
X,
Now he's
then
going to
Y
yammer through
statement.
me like a squealing pig bitch through his defeat. You failed. That's incorrect.
Bro, why are you speaking so violently about your
Because you're wrong and have been over 10 times and we're sick of it. Dunning-Kruger numpty idiot clown show pretenders that come along and tell us how wrong they are multiple times. That's annoying. Your dunce behaviour irritates everybody.
It must be pretty annoying when you point out that your basis assertions are baseless.
So now he's going to repeat the ad hominem and baseless assertion that he's using in claim of a fallacy that I'm using. It is not a baseless assertion when you fail to detail the constituent parts by name of a hypothesis. You have not done that. Ipso facto, a fail. Me saying it's a fail, exampling how it's a fail, isn't a baseless assertion. What you are doing is inferring a baseless assertion to undermine the detailed explanation of how you failed. If you can't say number 1, X, and number 2, Y, as the constituent parts of a hypothesis, you have failed. That is not a baseless assertion. I've undermined his attempt to suggest I've used a fallacy when I haven't. Pathetic, cuck-like, lying glurf behaviour. Like the other guy. You used a string of fallacies. No, I didn't. This guy says I used a baseless assertion. No, you were asked for the 2 constituent parts of a hypothesis. You didn't give them. That's not baseless. That's the basis of me saying you failed. Did you hear the basis of your failure? Or do you want to tell me it's baseless again? So I can repeat the basis of it. Dumbo. You failed.
If Q
Yeah, you stuttery little bitch. You failed. Now you're just stuttering. You failed and are not a man. You have no balls. You cannot concede your failures. You're pathetic. You disgust me. I pity your pathetic, weasel, squealing, pig-like behaviour. You're like all the rest of the pathetic globe cucks. You're sad.
it's recorded
You can
in,
never
in
learn
the, on the live
something
stream.
new if you don't
I've repeated
accept
it
that you
multiple
don't
times.
know.
He was talking through you, John.
Yeah, you can never learn something new if you don't accept you do not know it first. You have to accept that you don't know what it is for us to detail what it is.
Yeah, you're incapable of being educated. That's how thick you are.
But a person.
But stuttery little stammery bitches that are incapable of being educated. Yeah, you can but your way somewhere else, dickhead. We're sick of you. You're incapable of being educated because you have no balls, you have no humility, you cannot accept when you don't know something. Now, if you cannot accept that you don't know it, how the hell are we expected to correct you? How are we expected to tell you what's correct when you cannot accept that you don't know it? You want to but and stutter your way through the fact you don't know? No, you think you do know. Therefore, you're a lost cause now. You're beyond redemption. You're beyond help. You cannot be educated.
That's kind of how a discussion works, that you think your position is correct. And then that person can get convinced if actual evidence against you gets presented.
Okay, sort of like if
But
you were to
what
say
happened?
you knew what a hypothesis was and then you were asked what the constituent parts were and then you didn't give them, that would kind of allude to the idea that you didn't know what you were talking about. You'd hope that that would be followed by a concession that you don't know what you're talking about. But you haven't done that.
I gave them... And
I better stutter my way around the fact you haven't conceded because you're a squealing little pig glurf.
Yeah. But there's stutter around the fact that you cannot rebut them, so you have to ad hominem me. That's
Look,
pretty
mate,
sad, to
you
be
haven't
honest.
conceded you didn't know what the constituent parts were. You still haven't. We're going to be here all day.
Okay. Again, the premise and the prediction. What is the number of times I've already
So our
mentioned that?
hypothesis is a scientific prediction. Let's just get that squared away because this dickhead keeps using the same thing. there's a prediction in a hypothesis. No, a hypothesis is otherwise known as a scientific prediction. It is a prediction. Saying a hypothesis has got contained within it a prediction, no, it is a prediction. Now, I doubt this clown shoes pretender will accept that because he's ineducatable. Meanwhile, the audience can understand it. The other name for a hypothesis is a scientific prediction. So can you stop appealing to that stupid garbage?
It absolutely is. Other, if at all, then other name for a hypothesis would be a scientific explanation. An explanation for a phenomenon. How it works deeper
idiot.
than you just observe. What is the mechanism behind it?
That's wrong. It's not an explanation. You're wrong. You're incorrect.
Okay. Can you please give a citation where...
No, I can explain why you're wrong. If a hypothesis was an explanation, then we wouldn't need to do anything else, would we? We would have our explanation already. So, ergo, this prediction, yeah, hasn't yet been validated. If it's, quote, an explanation, then there's nothing more to do. We've already got our explanation, haven't we? Yeah, but that's not what a hypothesis is. You're a stupid idiot. Do you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, I hear you.
Right, so concede. You're a stupid idiot who thinks that hypotheses are explanations, end quote you. Wrong.
No, but...
No, but I'm going to stutter my way around the non-concession. You are wrong. If they were explanations, there'd be nothing else to do. You're wrong.
That's false because you have...
So it's false, so you're wrong. So they're not explanations, as you said. That's false. Yeah, we know. That's false, you're wrong. You don't know what this stuff is.
I know.
No, you don't. You said it was an explanation, you stupid boy. It's not an explanation. There'd be nothing else to do. You said it was an explanation because you don't know what you're talking about. Cat got your tongue?
Okay, let me Google what the hypothesis is.
Oh, you could look it up after you've already made claims about it. Way to expose the Dunning-Kruger in him. Oh, I'll Google it after I've made a claim. Way to expose how Dunning-Kruger you really are. You're going to look it up after the fact, are you now, stupid moron? Oh, wow, maybe this is an invitation for you to yammer straight through the top of me. No, I would have looked it up before. Oh, maybe if you chant like a squealing pig, glurf, bitch, will alter the fact that you've just said, maybe you could keep squealing, glurf, pig, bitch. You just keep squealing through the top of me there, squealing little pig glurf. No, mate, you've just been exposed. You don't know what you're talking about, and then you've said after you were exposed. Keep squealing, pig. You done yet squealing?
Nathan.
Squeal for me, piggy! Piggy, piggy, piggy glurf can't stop squealing after exposing how wrong he is. Oh, squeal for me, you little piggy glurf.
Or after I Googled
Squeal
it.
for me,
Before
piggy.
Or after?
Yeah, this'll undo the demolition and humiliation that you've just faced. Talking through me's going to undo it. Squeal for me, piggy. Squeal straight to the top of me. Maybe if I stutter and squeal, I can undo this little problem of not knowing what the hell I'm babbling about when I say it's an explanation and then suggest that I should Google it after I've made my claims. Maybe I'll look up what I'm talking about after I've made my claims about what I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe we can spend about an hour of this squealing pig glurf. This squealing pig glurf not growing a pair of man balls and admitting that he doesn't know what he talks about. Maybe you as an audience would rather listen to this sound of a squealing pig glurf.
You've literally said nothing in substance like since last 2 minutes.
Well, there's a baseless assertion for you, given that I've summed up how you said a hypothesis was an explanation. Wrong. Maybe it's me summarising how you just said you'd Google it after making your claims, making you Dunning-Kruger. Maybe I'm just not saying anything. Maybe if you make a baseless assertion about my non-foundation-based claims with examples of what you've done, maybe that's a little squeal. Did you want to start squealing through me, little glurf? Go on you go. Squeal
I mean,
for me.
The worth
Oh,
of
it's a
state will be
nice
something
squeal.
relative. So
This is a
maybe
nice
there are
squeal.
people who
This is
consider
winning
calling
his
it
argument.
big
This
something
squealing
that
is in
worth
winning his
listening
argument.
to,
This is what
but
you've
then
got,
these people are
Glurfs.
elective
Talk while
psychopaths.
the host is talking, because
only
then
tell-
you've won. This is you squealing, Piggy Glurf. Yeah, you didn't explain what a hypothesis was or define
Are
the
you an
constituent part.
adult?
Squeal for me, Piggy. I'll try that again. Let's see how much squealing we can get out of this. Squeal, little Glurf. Squeal. Squeal for me, little Glurf. You didn't define the constituent parts of a hypothesis. And as I get to the second stage of what he didn't do, and he didn't explain what a hypothesis was and said it was an explanation. And no squealing. That wasn't baseless. That was the basis of why you needed to squeal a minute ago. Have you stopped squealing? Oh, it doesn't seem like he's got any squealing anymore. Maybe I can summarise the point that he didn't have a decent explanation for what a hypothesis was. He had a lot of squealing when that was pointed out, though, didn't you, EMBO? Did you want to squeal through me summarising it again? You didn't have any basis of knowledge in hypothesis construction. You didn't know what the constituent parts were. And you said it was an explanation, you dumbo. You have no place at this table, you're thick. Then squeal for me. Go on. Squeal.
How can I not...
How can I talk straight through the middle of me while I'm pointing out your failures after you said they were baseless? Oh, do you not like me pointing out how based they were when I gave the examples of how you didn't know what a hypothesis was? Maybe the audience would just love to hear you squeal through the top of me. Yeah, I've got a little solution for that, MBO. I open the line when you're squealing after I've made it clear to my audience why you're squealing. But your squealing doesn't have to be heard through the top of me, and it won't negate the explanation of where you failed, you pathetic man with no balls. You couldn't face your own failures because you're a cuck. A pathetic, sad little man that can't accept when he's wrong. No humility. Like all globe, glurf, lying cucks. You need to squeal as it's pointed out to you like you're doing now. Do you hear him squealing? Is this going to undo those facts as you squeal through me? You undoing these facts through the top of me, mate? Are you undoing these facts that you lost with? Eventually I can close the line. Just talk to my audience without you having to hear the squealing glurf over the top of me. Nice and calm like. I mean, you could hear this.
Amused by me
you could hear this.
Being interrupted by
yeah, while he
by
squeals to the top, you could hear that. But he's not going to face it. He's just going to base this assertion away from it constantly. Go ahead, QE. Are you just laughing to cause a bit of audio chaos or what?
I'm sorry. It's funny. You said, okay, let's hear him squeal.
You just keep squealing through me there, EMBO, every time I point out that what I've said isn't baseless like you claimed, and you've opened your mic in the middle of this sentence ready to squeal again. So your mic's open. I have only just started the sentence. Why is your mic open? You ready to squeal? Go for it, son. Go for it. Squeal. Squeal, little piggy. Squeal. Oh, you put yourself back on mute there, realising that it's humiliating as I point out that you're opening your mic in the middle of my sentence so you can squeal like a lost glurf piggy. You're a pathetic loser, glurf cuck, EMBO. You failed to describe what a hypothesis was, and every time I tried to point it out, you squealed like a glurf piggy. Didn't you? You may respond. Use your words.
Where's your
Doesn't
helmet?
seem like he can use his words, does it? It's only squealing then, EMBO.
Yeah.
Use your words.
Nathan, use your scientific method to deduce why I don't want to speak to you right now.
It wasn't my scientific method. You said it was when you talked about the sky being green. Do you need to flip the burden here, EMBO? Maybe you'll address that. Maybe you won't.
This is also a very good exercise for the audience.
Sorry, why are you talking about my audience? I just explained that you claimed about the sky being green as a hypothesis. This isn't my claim. It's the second time I've repeated it. Balls much? Got any much? Address what I've just said much?
Okay.
Maybe it was baseless. Maybe you can squeal through me repeating it. No, son. Do you want to address that or what?
Okay, let's make a summary.
No, you could just address what I've said.
My God.
No, you can't. You need to squeal or change the subject. Maybe if I make a summary.
Green. The sky
let's make
is
a
green
summary.
is an example of a hypothesis.
Was it mine? Was that my hypothesis? You just claimed that I needed to form a hypothesis. Was that mine or was that
It was
yours?
my hypothesis.
Oh, it was yours? It seems like he's just flipped the burden. That would be a logical fallacy you used on me there, EMBO. You're going to man up and accept that? It wasn't my hypothesis, as you just alluded, with a burden of proof reversal fallacy that you've used. Now let's see how big a cuck you are. Your claim of green
or maybe
sky,
you're
then.
simply so soulless, or maybe you're simply.
But did you call me soulless? Would that be an ad hominem fallacy? In lieu of a growing of some balls when he flipped the burden? So definitely you're not my, as you asserted when you said I needed to form a hypothesis, something you don't understand. You pathetic globe cuck.
Okay.
Not okay, son.
I want to see it.
Go on, John.
Hold
You
on.
asked me what is a hypothesis. I gave an answer. What is a hypothesis?
And it was wrong and stupid, and then you failed to acknowledge how wrong and stupid you were when you said it was an explanation. Yeah, we know what's happened. Your summary won't undermine what's happened. You said it was an explanation, you were wrong. You didn't detail the constituent parts, you're an idiot.
Is your only rebuttal? Just saying I'm wrong without any basis, without any.
What, like saying about you giving it as an explanation when a hypothesis isn't an explanation? You haven't detailed what the constituent parts are? That kind of baseless. Maybe if you squeal that it's baseless to the top of me explaining how based it was, like with not giving constituent parts. Yeah? Not detailing what a hypothesis was and claiming it's an explanation. Me saying that then it wouldn't need anything else after that, would it? Maybe that's baseless. Maybe that's just you, a pathetic losing glurf Kirk, who needs to suggest to my audience that I've made a baseless assertion about his failings. Because he hasn't got a pair of man balls. Can't accept that he's lost and is a failure. No, I did know what a hypothesis was. It's an explanation, right?
Okay.
So it's an explanation, right? You did offer your definition of what it was. It was just wrong. You know that now, right?
I don't, and I rebuted that while you interrupted me in the middle of the sentence. An explanation doesn't imply that the explanation has to be true. An explanation can be a false explanation.
I see. So you're saying the scientific method and its process isn't very useful because it doesn't mean that it's going to be true. So it's useless. So the scientific method, according to this idiot, is useless then because the outcome doesn't have to be true.
You don't know if it's true before you make the experiment.
With what? What are the constituent parts?
After you make the experiment, you verify it.
Verify what? In relation to the effect?
Yeah,
You
why are we
verify the
experimenting on
hypothesis
something we don't even know what it
or
is yet?
falsify it.
You gotta define the hypothesis first, man.
He hasn't done that. He can't do that. He said it was an explanation.
Yeah. An explanation of a physical phenomenon.
That's wrong. If it was an explanation, we wouldn't be doing anything, would we? I've already covered this. I'm in no doubt that he'll start squealing straight through the top of me as I explain it again. If it was an explanation, end quote you, there'd be nothing else to do. Do you hear me, you stupid man?
That's false because the word explanation doesn't imply the truth. Something being true, something tells me a false explanation.
Go and look up the definition of explanation, you stupid glurf moron.
And then you test if
So
you're...
go and look up the definition of explanation, you stupid glurf moron. Go and look up what the definition of explanation is.
Yeah, if it's not true, it's not an explanation.
This guy's an idiot.
Like, what are you talking about?
Do you feel that you've done a good job of representing your brethren in globe belief? Because I tell you, you have. You've done an exceptional job of demonstrating to everybody else exactly how you guys are. Number 1, dumb as all shit. Number 2, cannot concede, too much pride. Number 3, absolutely zero humility.
It depends, because in the case of rhetoric, I can acknowledge that I'm not the best person. You definitely have better word games, you can fool people better in your rhetoric, but in terms of arguments, I think I presented them pretty fairly. Like,
What
someone's
arguments?
rhetoric skills doesn't imply someone is correct. And you're the living example of that.
Is that another ad hom?
What? You don't know what a hypothesis is, and you're going to attack Nathan now. You should be ashamed of yourself, young man.
Standard. Yeah, fall back on good old faithful attack the opponent. After demonstrable stupidity being exercised on the opponent's part by you, you tell me that the examples given in rebuttal with what you have said as the example, you say that's baseless. Okay. So, with regards to Newton.
Well, the saddest part.
Oh, go on. Go on, John.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say the saddest part of this is that he has been educated on what a hypothesis is in 6th grade. It's standard educational. He's just either didn't learn it or he's forgotten it. And he won't just say that. That's sad.
Yeah. So
You
an
need to give your
explanation
testimony
simply
more often,
redirects you
John.
to the definition of the word explain, and the word explain, I just posted the definition. One of the definitions is to give the
Why are you
reason
still
for
talking?
or cause of. And because I can, because this is a voice chat, and people here are talking.
Why are you still
not
talking?
Typing.
So, the definition says to explain why something happens as a definition of explain.
Yeah.
Okay. Hypotheses don't do that, though. They still don't do that.
They do that. They give the
No, they
reason
don't.
for or cause of. They give the cause of something happening.
No, they
The
don't.
reason of something happening. What physical laws
No, they don't.
make that happen?
No, they. How many times? No, they don't. If they explained why things happened, that would be the end of it, because you'd have an explanation. You're saying, well, it doesn't necessarily mean it's right. Well, then it's no use, is it? You just don't know what this is. You haven't got the vocabulary to define what a hypothesis is, or you'd have done it. We wouldn't still be here. We'd move on with the next question once you got it right. But everyone, fortunately for me and QE, have all mentally agreed that we're not going to tell you. Yeah? So normally what happens is a glurf will get us to tell them, and then they'll make out like they knew the whole time and move on from there. You're stuck here in your ignorance, and there's a good chunk of the audience that know exactly what you need, what words you'd need. You think you're close, but you're so far. And you don't know that, but you still think you're righteous. You still think you're well-educated. You still think you've got an answer for what a hypothesis is. And you've still yet to give it us correctly.
30 minutes.
Yep.
By the way,
that called?
Dunning-Kruger.
it's been 30 minutes.
Anyways.
Once you get
30
there,
minutes.
So
just so he
if
knows, because this has got an origin as well, EMBO. This is in regards to Newton, you realise. You know, this has got a destination that we're not getting to because of your ignorance. I mean, if we had it as a concise description or definition of a hypothesis, we could then start asking you about how Newton fits into that. You realise we're not getting there because of your ignorance. You're holding us all back.
And lack of humility.
Did you not want to get onto Newton? Because we can't really be asking about it because our opponent, in this case you, is stupid and doesn't know what a hypothesis is. So we can't really ask about Newton and formulate it within a coherent question about it because you don't know what that is yet. And you won't concede that. So we're never getting to Newton. What a shame. I mean, I'm sorry, audience. If you were hoping we'd eventually get this numpty dipshit back on his own claim of Newton, you're going to be very sadly mistaken. We can't go there because he's too stupid to understand what he doesn't know and won't concede it and just say, I don't know, so we can tell him. He's got no balls. So we're never going to get to Newton. I'm really sorry if you were hoping that's where we were going with this. The stupidity of the globe believers preventing us getting there. I'm really sorry.
Let's stick to the definition on the screenshot. When I explain, so I give the reason for or cause of, do I have to be correct as implied by this definition in doing
Right,
that?
that's what explanations are. They explain things. I mean, if they're not explaining something and they don't happen to actually explain why something happens, then they're just the village idiot ramblings that are meaningless and can be ignored. However, if they're an explanation, then they'd be shocking, as this may sound. Explaining things? Yeah, hypothesis doesn't do that, though. just so we're clear, that's the whole point. We
Contrary
can't get past
to-
this because you're yammering, maybe squealing through me. A hypothesis doesn't do that.
Contrary to village ramblings or whatever you said, hypothesis is already based on some speculation, based on some data. It isn't just completely made up. You look at something, observe something, already have some data, and then extrapolate some possible explanation for it. Then have it for even further tests.
Possible explanation. That's not an explanation, is it? It's a possible explanation then. Where did that come from? I'm sorry, I'm asking you something. Do you mind not yammering? So did you get that from one of your quick searches that you've done after the fact? You've added this word in. We seem to be getting somewhere. I'm still talking. He's squealing. Of course he's squealing. You've added in this word that wasn't there before. You seem to have expanded your knowledge with frequent Google searches whilst chatting with us. Why would you have added this explanation where it wasn't part of your explanation previously for what a hypothesis was? Possible, you say? Now we're getting somewhere. So it's a possible explanation. I see. Why didn't you say that the first time?
I've been saying throughout this entire time that it doesn't have to be correct.
Oh, really?
You only verify its correctness while making the experiment.
Stop.
I just did
Stop. My God, he won't stop squealing. You've been saying that.
Why can you stop? Why can you interrupt?
Because I'm trying to ask something of you. You've just made a claim that you've been saying it the whole time, and now you won't shut your mouth. Okay. So the whole time that we've been discussing this, it has been a quote-unquote possible explanation. So when this video comes out, you'll be able to timestamp every single one of the times you said it then, won't you? I will bet you £1,000. Oh, excuse me. We're going to get into the glurf scummy behaviour that you guys exhibit. You'll be able to timestamp at least, how many did I count off? 10 times that you will timestamp with the words, quote, possible explanation in it. I'll bet you £1,000 that you won't be able to do that. I counted off how many times we went round in the circle. It was 10. Therefore, according to your last statement, there will be 10 timestamps with 10 quotes where you said every time, possible explanation. Correct?
Well, there's a catch here because linguistics work in a way where you can frame the...
Sorry, are you now saying that you didn't say exactly that every time then?
Yeah.
So you're lying. You didn't say possible explanations every time like you just lied about. And now it's squirm with possible linguistics. You mean you didn't friggin' say it? Lying shit. These globe fucks, I hate them. You're a lying bastard. I no longer want to talk to you, this EMBO guy. He's just been proven to be a categoric liar. And the moment he's called, that was all in, by the way, QE, that was me going all in. I hammed it up a little bit with a bet. I've said that every single time. Okay, timestamp every time that you said possible explanation. I'll put £1,000 on the table. By the way, I haven't got a pot to piss in. I'm 500 quid overdrawn. Can't even afford a journey to go and meet people. I'd still put £1,000 on the line because I know he's lying. He's looked it up, and now, after not conceding that he didn't know what a hypothesis was, suddenly we've got a new word. Possible explanation. Oh yeah, I said it every time. All right, so you timestamp every single one of the 10 times I laboured the fact that you didn't know what this meant. With you saying possible explanation. For us to move on immediately. No, we did 10 repetitions and now he's lying. I also highlighted, I called this. I said what the glurfs do is wait till we tell them what it is, and then they make out like they'd already been saying it like that. I already called it, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
That's exactly what this glurf, the liar, did. So, you're going to put £1,000 on the line, or are you going to now weasel away and say it was a linguistic issue, EMBO? So you're a liar. You didn't say it like that every time. You've introduced it now, exactly as I said, and you needed to lie and pretend you'd always been saying it like that. Liar. So you hadn't, as you just said, always been saying that then. Liar. Has the cat got your tongue, liar?
I've been saying the same message using different words.
So same message or the same words? No, it's not the same. You haven't been given the same message, or we'd have moved on a lot quicker. You're a liar.
I am not.
The same message was an explanation that's now become a possible explanation. That's a very different message.
Well,
Cat got
that
your
was
tongue?
my first comment when you objected to my definition that a hypothesis is an explanation. I said that an explanation doesn't imply that it has to be correct. You only test if it's correct after you make the experiment.
But that
When you
wasn't
make the experiment, and then you know it.
That wasn't.
Before it is a proposed explanation. I didn't probably use that word directly.
Oh, you didn't use that word. Well, if you had used that word, like you implied, you'd always been inferring it was always the message. But you didn't use that word, making you a liar.
Right, but he's still not identified the two constituent parts of the scientific hypothesis. He's given a sentence that has them in it, but he's still not identified them. So he's still failing.
Yeah. Go on then. Identify the two constituent parts.
Well, I've identified them. You basically dismiss them and refuse to offer an alternative one. So
Non-responsive. That's not an offering of the two constituent parts. Try again. Ding, 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 ding. Time's up. Non-responsive. You don't know what the constituent parts are. Maybe you could squeal through the top of me now I'm talking and point. Yep, there's the squeal. Squeal, little piggy.
how sad? How
Squeal,
sad
little
used to be
piggy,
your
because you've been...
repeat
Oh,
the
right,
same
have I got to
things
close
for
the
you
line because the
because you
squealing
refuse to
piggy now
acknowledge
only
them?
wants to talk while I'm talking. You got to squeal, right, piggy? You didn't name the constituent parts. There was a prolonged silence, then I rang a bell, and then you opened your mic and started talking while I was talking, like you're doing now, squealing with your mic wide open. Can you not hear me talking, EMBO? Seems like you got your light flashing there as you desperately want to talk through me. No, mate, you haven't labelled or named the two constituent parts of a hypothesis. There was a protracted silence and then me ringing a bell.
Guys, let's play a game. Let's start guessing how many times I've already explained these two parts.
Non-responsive. That is not the two constituent parts of a hypothesis. Non-responsive, ladies and gentlemen.
Comments.
Non-responsive. Those aren't the constituent parts of a hypothesis.
Whoever is the close to the actual number wins the challenge.
Non-responsive. Those aren't also the constituent parts of a hypothesis. Non-responsive.
And the bigger number there is, Oakley is bigger liar.
Non-responsive. That's not
Because he
the
claims
two.
I said it
Now
zero
he's
times.
squealing. That's non-responsive. That's not the two constituent parts of a hypothesis. Non-responsive.
How does it feel to be a pathetic...
That's non-responsive. Asking me how I feel are not the two constituent parts of a hypothesis.
It would be easier...
It needs to be stuttered out, does it? Stuttery little stammery lying glurf. This is non-responsive also. This is not the constituent parts of a scientific hypothesis.
Here, everything is saved on the live stream, so all of the people watching this can then later review and say and see how many times I've explained this to you and how many times you lied about me not doing that.
That's non-responsive. That's not the two constituent parts of a scientific prediction, otherwise known as hypothesis. That was non-responsive. Do this all day.
The best we've gotten out of him is to give a sentence that had those constituent parts in it, but he's not, he's not been able to label them yet. So how are you ever going to learn anything? Is it going to be dragging you through coals the rest of your life?
Yeah, thickos. Thicko.
Or
Yeah,
just
we'll
admit that
try
you don't
again.
know and ask for the answer.
He's gonna. If we give him the
Do you think
answer, like earlier, he's squealing through me, of course. Like earlier, he'll claim he said it all along, and then when it's like, okay, all in, I bet $1,000 you can't timestamp 10 times that you said that. Oh well, I had the message. It's squeal, because he lied. Like once it was identified, suddenly it's part of the conversation the whole time. That's what glurf scum liars do. He still hasn't named the two constituent parts. He's told my audience that there's been many times he's identified it, and am I going to get called out as a liar for having all these times of having identified the two constituent parts that I've ignored? That's his response when asked for them. Okay, you're right. I'm so sorry. I ignored all those times that you gave us the two constituent parts. It was me not listening. I'm really sorry. Can you give them us again now? Ding, 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 ding. All in. Lying Glurf, you've got nothing.
Why should I expect you to listen?
Non-responsive. Why would you expect me to list something I've listed so many times and called you a liar for having listed them and you ignoring them? Why would I list them now? Because it would make you not a liar?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Because you don't know. You don't know what the constituent parts are, or you'd name them.
It's a premise and a prediction.
Wrong.
Based on what? Give a citation.
A premise?
Yeah.
Okay. Citation.
This is what you hypothesize.
Yeah, that's what we're doing, a hypothesis. You don't know. You've got it wrong and you don't know. No one's going to bail you out and tell you, so you can claim that you knew all along, and that actually when you said premise, you meant something else that you were saying all along. You've got it wrong. You don't know. You're constantly reading through your citations to try and figure it out so you can list these two things. You haven't done it yet. Everyone in the audience knows what it is as well, by the way. Everyone on the panel knows. You're the only one who doesn't know. Yeah, in his mind, he still thinks he's winning. He still thinks literally he's got justification for telling my audience that he's told them hundreds of times that he's already detailed what they are. Like, literally, I would guarantee that about 90% of the audience knows exactly how and what they would detail this with. I reckon the audience could detail the answer to this question with less than 4 letters. Not less than. 4.
Exactly.
I reckon they could get away with 3. Just about.
Can we get the rest of the Discord ballers in here? Protofad, Starcadder, maybe they can help him?
Oh, the rest of the chat
I just posted the citation.
Help.
Here's the citation you requested. Hypothesis: scientists write an answer to their casual questions based on their research. And a prediction is scientists write down the outcome that they expect if their hypothesis is correct. So you derive prediction from the hypothesis and then test the prediction to see if the hypothesis is correct.
Oh, that's nice. Thanks for that. What are the 2 constituent parts of a hypothesis?
Again, already, a hypothesis has to contain a prediction. This is one of the parts of the hypothesis. And then the other part is the premise, the thing you assume, just the hypothesis itself.
You don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah, he's just reading it off Wiki. Doesn't know what it means.
No. I'm not reading anything. You have a hypothesis, something that you assume, the assumption. And from this, this implies something. So you have a premise and you have the conclusion. The conclusion is the prediction. And then you test if this prediction holds in reality to check if your hypothesis is correct.
Oh, that's really nice. So what are the 2 constituent parts then? You've told us them. Yeah, just repeat them. You told us some loads of times before. I wasn't listening. It's really my bad here. I wasn't listening earlier when you went through them loads of times. Can you just tell us what the 2 main constituent parts are, please?
A prediction and
No,
the premise.
no, that's wrong. Do you want to just stop for a second? No, a hypothesis is also known as a scientific prediction. Yeah, what are the 2 constituent parts of that prediction?
It isn't. It isn't. That's a lie. I'm not going to entertain something that is based on faulty assumption in the first place that you didn't back up.
That's nice. So you can't tell us what the 2 constituent parts are then?
So
I mean,
that's
I
a
just
lie.
posted a citation backing up my interpretation. You just completely acted, and
Well,
then
that's
you
a lie.
give your
Then
own
you said
that isn't
you
backed
said
up
that
by
that was a
anything.
lie.
This doesn't make
You
any
said that
logical
that was-
sense.
You said that that was a lie. Diarrhea of the mouth, idiot. From Colorado State University, scientific hypothesis, a special kind of prediction.
Is
Who's
this
lying
the
now?
one on
Sorry,
the
you
link
said
on the
you. Sorry,
internet that
excuse me.
says
Stop
that
a second,
doesn't work
squealing
anymore
pig. Can
because
you
they
stop
deleted
talking,
the
squealing
article?
pig? You said you wouldn't accept it. Colorado State makes it clear in the first lines of that citation, which we won't give you the rest of. We'd give the game away. We'll heap you here indefinitely with your ignorance, holding you back permanently. That's fine. You don't get it. I've kept this live show going so we can show just how lacking our opponents are in humility. It's really obvious to everyone watching that you don't know what you're talking about. And Colorado State just made it clear it is a prediction. Just read it again, QE, just so he knows how wrong he was. I know he won't concede to it.
Colorado State University scientific hypothesis, a special kind of prediction.
So it's
There's
a prediction.
more. I'm going to stop.
No, stop there. Stop there. Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah, hypothesis is a prediction. Yeah, so what are the constituent parts of that prediction?
The Colorado University article doesn't exist anymore because it had to be faulty, so they had to delete it.
Non-responsive. So we've got a non-responsive answer. That's not the constituent parts of a hypothesis. That's non-responsive. Non-responsive.
Nathan, this citation doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't.
Sorry, he's just read it out. Do you mean it doesn't exist? He just put quote marks around it. Do you mean it doesn't exist when you Google search it? Sorry, you think that the existence of citations relies on Google being able to deliver it to you? Oh, it definitely exists. He just put quote marks around it.
Yeah.
QE.
Yeah.
QE. Just so we're clear, did you make up that citation?
No, I'm not Colorado State.
So it came from Colorado State, not Google.
The problem is.
So sorry, just clarifying. You said it doesn't exist. It came from Colorado State. Did you verify that, or go to Colorado State and make absolutely clear that nobody had ever said that? Did you do that?
I'm not accusing him of making that.
You said it didn't exist. If it doesn't exist and he said it as a quote, then you're accusing him of lying about what Colorado State said. You said it doesn't exist.
No. Wait a second. There's a lot of these education sites that delete citations. That doesn't matter.
So?
It doesn't matter because if they delete it,
they delete them all the time because ballers call them up and say, "Hey,
delete that." He's squealing through you. He's squealing through you. Yeah, I can burn every book in every public library. It doesn't mean Shakespeare doesn't exist. You can delete every entry off Google. You can erase the internet. There was a time that there was no Google. Do you think that your ability to Google means the existence is questionable? No, mate, it's a citation from Colorado State that makes it clear that a hypothesis is a prediction. You keep asserting that somehow a hypothesis is just the fact that it's a prediction. Yeah, we know. That bit's clear. We're asking you what the constituent parts of the prediction are, and you don't know. Now, like I say, I don't mind if we do this for 5 hours. It's obvious you're stupid. But we'll keep you here indefinitely just for the audience's amusement. Gives me more time to e-beg and hopefully clear my overdraft.
There is one fundamental difference between these two examples.
So close
because
to the answer,
it would be you burning the books, not Shakespeare burning his own books. Here, the university deleted their own article, so they had to find an error in their own composition, in their own article.
Sorry, did you go to Colorado State and ask them why they took it off the Google search that you now can't find it on? Did you ask them why they did that?
No.
Why did you just say that they found an error then?
Because then why would they...
Sorry, you're asking me something. I asked you why you'd say they made an error, and I'm getting a question in response. I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, why he's a glurf liar. He just made it up.
Because there's no other...
No, there's no explanation you can give here. You're just making stuff up. You don't know anything about this. Your inability to Google has resulted in you telling an audience that they took it down because there was an error. Lie. Gotta lie to glurf. You just made that up. Yep, cat got his tongue, caught out in a lie, claimed that they'd made an error. So you're so brazen as to say that Colorado State makes mistakes in what they publish.
For what other...
For you're accusing Colorado State of being inferior. You standing by that, are you? You gonna stand by your glurf lie about Colorado State, or what?
I'm not lying.
Sorry, they made an error, did they?
Well, this is the more...
Well, this is what you said. You said they made an error. I'm calling you a glurf liar. Either you're a glurf liar or you're disparaging Colorado State. Did you make it up? I already know you made it up, glurf liar. Either you admit you can't, that you made it up, or you're disparaging an entire university. But that's what you do if you're a glurf. You're happy to do that, right? You're happy to disparage this entire university based on something you made up.
If according to you, this is...
I haven't made any statements. You said they made it up, not according to me. We're dealing with you, and you're disparaging marks about Colorado State that you made up.
Why would you do this, man? Instead of attacking Colorado State, just give us the two constituent parts of a hypothesis so we can move on.
Yeah, good point. Stop attacking Colorado State's credibility and just give us the two constituent parts of a hypothesis.
I already did.
No, you didn't. Okay, give them us again.
I'm done with that. I'm not going to.
So he's not going to. Just a glurf liar. This is what you have to do to be a glurf. To be a ball believer, you've got to lie constantly. You've got to disparage universities, toss them under the bus for making errors because he can't Google search something. Literally, he'll make it up on the spot.
You do know we got you on tape, dummy. And we can tell if you did or did not say it the first time. Are you aware of that? No, I'm not.
Well, we have ears as well, and we know what he said. So we don't have to go back and listen to it. We all know he didn't say 1, X, 2, Y. He didn't do that. He can't. He doesn't know it, but he won't admit it at all. It's embarrassing for me.
Very. This is your typical glurf display of complete disregard for anything truthful. Go ahead, whoever that is from G+.
He's already been given the answer.
You do, hold on.
But he just proves that he's not listening at all.
Well, you do realize you're just spending all this time with a guy who thinks level means curve. You realize that, right?
Yeah, that's good summary, Neil. We're dealing with people that say level is curved, that level and aspect is a shape, that Colorado State makes stuff up because they don't know how to define what a hypothesis is and give us the constituent parts. They'll lie about having given us multiple times. And then when we say, okay, give them us again, they say, no. This is the scum of the earth. To be a globe believer, this is what you've got to be. This is how you've got to do business if you want to believe you're on a globe. You've got to lie, deceive, and generally be quite a scummy person.
Well, he thinks that they took down their information because they were wrong. Now, QE started to say the reason why they might take things down. I thought I heard him saying something that ballers call up the universities crying.
I don't know.
That absolutely happened. Yes, that does happen. You can actually find hangouts where ballers have discussed applying pressure to educational institutions about their citations and demanding they be pulled down because flat earthers are using them. Yes, that happens.
Yeah, they'd rather eradicate the citation than deal with it. How pathetic.
That is, yes.
It helps them sleep at night.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was about to say that is absolutely pathetic.
With that, I'm going to say, if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Programming streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, though, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So another massive thank you to all of you smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, gave people free memberships, hit me up on PayPal, bailed me out of my overdraft, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.